Chapter 44-49. Lin Xian stared at the person who spoke. It was a young man who was a half-step Saint King. Clearly, he was a genius from the ancient race. Lin Xian looked at him and suddenly smiled. In the next instant, he attacked. Boundless death precepts formed a sword of death and flew out. You're courting death. You dare to attack me. The young man roared in anger and slapped out with his palm. Freezing cold covered the sword of death and froze it in midair. A cold smile appeared on his face. Do you see that? The difference between us is that. Before he could finish speaking, his pupils constricted. In the next instant, he felt a figure appear behind him. A palm had turned his body into a bloody mist. How could it be? When did the other party appear behind him? He was too shocked. However, he didn't have to think about it anymore because this palm had destroyed his astral soul. Lin Xian killed a half-step Saint King with a single palm. Then, he asked indifferently, "Now, am I qualified?" The surrounding people were shocked. This person was very terrifying. Moreover, his strength was too strong. It was really shocking. When the other members of the Ice Serpent clan saw this, they shouted angrily, "You're courting death." They attacked frantically, ice arrows and ice blades flying over. However, Lin Xian suddenly disappeared, leaving behind a death vortex that emitted a terrifying aura. This made the members of the Ice Serpent clan extremely uncomfortable. "Alright, stop attacking. He's qualified to be here." At this moment, an elder said coldly. This elder had an unusually strong aura that seemed to be able to suppress the world. This was a Saint King from Howren Grotto Heaven. Since a Saint King had spoken, the others didn't attack. Young Master Ling Tian glanced at Lin Xian and sneered. He didn't care if there was one more person because in his opinion, it didn't matter if there were a few more people. As long as there was a treasure, it would be his in the end. There seemed to be nothing on the first level. The surrounding people started to investigate and found that there was indeed nothing. At this moment, someone said, "There's a staircase. Let's go over." They walked toward the staircase, wanting to enter the second level. However, they found that there was a huge seal at the staircase. Was it another seal? One of the Saint Kings threw a punch at him. This was a Saint King from the Thousand Mountain Grotto. Lin Xian had seen him before. He was called the Earth Holy King. He was an expert of the earth element. His strength and defense were extremely strong. His punch could definitely shatter a world. However, the seal didn't budge in the slightest. Was he that strong? Everyone was astonished. It seemed like they had to work together. Another two Saint Kings walked over and joined forces to attack. However, they discovered that it was completely useless. The faces of the crowd turned extremely ugly. Even with three great sage kings attacking at the same time, they still had no chance. At this moment, Lin Xian activated his heavenly secret god eyes and looked at the ice sculpture in front of him. "Don't waste your energy, you won't be able to open it." What was the meaning of this? Are you doubting our strength? The three Saint Kings in front turned their heads and emitted a piercingly cold light. The void around Lin Xian kept cracking. Even though his current physique wasn't weaker than a Saint King's, being stared at by three Saint Kings still made him feel extremely pressured. He said loudly, "I'm not doubting your strength, but I'm saying that your method is wrong. I think the key to entering the second level should be him." He pointed at the ice sculpture in front of him. The surrounding people also looked over. "That thing? Are you sure?" The Earth Saint King asked in a deep voice. Lin Xian nodded. "He should be right. If I'm not wrong, this should be an array, and the ranking statue is the key to the array. Since that's the case, I'll just blast it away." The great Earth Saint King threw out a punch. His strength was shocking. With a boom, the entire world began to shake and sway. However, the statue wasn't damaged. Damn it, was it really that sturdy? The Earth Saint King frowned and took out a mountain-splitting axe. That was the Saint King Wu. At this moment, he exploded with boundless power and wanted to attack again. Lin Xian frowned. This guy was too crazy. The Earth Saint King was a very tall man, like a giant. Lin Xian looked at him and said with a frown, "I advise you not to attack. Since this is an array, you have to follow the rules of breaking the array. If you attack rashly, it might cause unnecessary trouble." Hearing this, the others also said, "Enough, Earth Saint King, stop. Let's hear what this guy has to say first." Lin Xian's entire body was wrapped in the aura of death, and when he spoke, his voice was hoarse. Therefore, in the eyes of the crowd, he wasn't a young man at all. He might be an expert of the older generation. Lin Xian raised his hand and conjured a formation that enveloped the area in front of him. Immediately, the ice sculpture shook non-stop. Countless laws of ice appeared around him, enveloping the surroundings. Soon, countless rays of light formed an ancient arena. It seemed like a battle was about to start. Many people sucked in a deep breath when they saw this. The Earth Saint King even said, "I'll do it." This guy's speed was really fast. Many people were surprised. In their opinion, if they won, there might be some mysterious reward. However, it was unlikely for them to go up. Because there was a change in front. After the Earth Saint King went up, cracks appeared on the ice sculpture in front of him. Then, with a crack, it cracked open. A figure walked out from inside. Roar! With a roar, the 9 heavens and 10 lands shook. It was a blue demonic beast. It was covered in blue frost and its cold gaze swept across everything. It looked like a lion, but it was even more unique. Its tail was like a meteor hammer. Its body was like a small mountain, and there was a pair of blue wings on its back. When it spread out, the temperature of the entire space kept dropping. Even the half-step Saint Kings resisted with all their might. Even the Saint Kings frowned. How terrifying! It was actually a rare beast of heaven and earth. Lin Xian also looked carefully and then frowned slightly. He realized that the other party was indeed very strong. It wasn't weaker than a Saint King. And from the looks of it, this guy shouldn't be a normal rare beast of heaven and earth. It seemed to have been refined by someone. It was actually the ice snow Fang. This was a legendary demonic beast. It was really surprising to see it here. Hearing this voice, Lin Xian felt that it was familiar. He turned his head and then narrowed his eyes. It was a woman in a Taoist robe. She held a round fan in her hand and gently waved it. There was a mysterious aura all over her. Lin Xian had seen this person before. She was Insu from Qingqiu Grotto Heaven. He didn't expect her to come too. Feeling Lin Xian's gaze, Insu also turned her head and looked over. Confusion appeared in her eyes. Chapter 44-50. Shaking his head, he looked to the front. There were 2 figures standing in front of him. They were Earth Saint Kings, looking like dragon war gods. On the other side, Bing Xuefang was even more terrifying. His body was emitting an aura, especially when he swayed his tail. Just when everyone was in shock and analyzing the battle, the Earth Saint King shouted. "What kind of mutated beast is this? How many years have you been freezing this place? You must be some kind of puppet. Go to hell." He threw out a punch. The powerful force, along with a monstrous aura, awakened Bing Xuefang. So what if his opponent was strong? He was a Saint King. He was fearless. Bing Shuifang's eyes shone with a terrifying light. He then roared, his voice shaking the 9 heavens. Looking at the fish that was rushing towards him, he also slapped out with his claw. Wherever the blue claw passed, it froze the world. It also carried a terrifying aura of the law. Boom! The collision between the two was earth-shattering. Then, both of them retreated. The Earth Saint King was shocked. Damn it, his strength is so strong. However, take my punch. As he spoke, he used the Earth Divine Fist. The terrifying law was displayed to the extreme. A layer of armor appeared on his body. It seemed like he did not intend to dodge. He wanted to charge over with his powerful strength. On the other side, ice snow teeth also roared towards the sky. Endless ice and snow surrounded him, forming a terrifying ball of ice and snow. He charged over directly. The power contained in the ball froze the entire land. Break! The Earth Saint King's attack was frozen in midair. The ice even spread to his body. His legs were frozen. Even his hands were covered in ice. It seemed like he was going to become an ice sculpture. At that moment, he took out his heaven-splitting axe and slashed forward. Boom! This attack was terrifying. It directly hit Bing Shuifang's body. Bing Shuifang was instantly sent flying and fell to the ground. It caused the void to crack. A huge crack appeared on his body. However, no blood flowed out from it. On the other hand, Bing Shuifang roared. The blue wings on his back flapped violently. His speed was extremely fast. He quickly charged towards the Earth Saint King. The entire Martial Path Pagoda was shaking under his attacks. How terrifying! This guy was crazy. When the surrounding people saw this scene, their faces became incomparably solemn. The Earth Saint King took a deep breath and gripped the sky-splitting axe with both hands. Then, a terrifying power of laws surged out. Endless laws of earth appeared on his body and enveloped him. In fact, everyone felt as if the ground beneath their feet had come alive. A monstrous aura spread out in all directions. The soul of the earth. It seemed like this guy was going to get serious. The Saint Kings of the Grotto Heaven took a deep breath. Lin Xian looked serious too. As expected of a Saint King, he was really strong. Although his physique had reached the level of a Sage King, there was still a certain gap between him and a Sage King in terms of nomological laws and other divine abilities. He clenched his fists. He had to quickly increase the power of the Great Dragon Sword Soul and let it reach the Saint King level. At that time, he would truly be a fearless Saint King. Thinking of this, he secretly gave the 2 pieces of Ice Soul Divine Crystals to the Great Dragon Sword Soul so that it could quickly absorb the energy and improve. At this moment, the 2 people in front of him clashed again. The sky-splitting axe swept out in all directions, together with the power of the soul of the earth. On the other side, Bing Shui's body was covered in endless icicles, and the great path of frost filled the sky. The 2 great paths were constantly intertwining, and the 9 heavens and 10 lands were trembling. Fortunately, the martial pagoda was very magical. Otherwise, the entire world would have been shattered if it was any other place. It was a shocking battle. In the end, the Earth Saint King kept retreating. Endless rocks condensed on his body to form a battle armor. It protected his body. The soul of the earth even merged with him. The sky-splitting axe in his hand became dim. However, he managed to block the shocking attack. The storm in the sky was shattered by him. On the other side, Bing Shui was sent flying again. The cracks on his body were even more terrifying, almost splitting him in half. Caw caw caw. A blue ball of light appeared in his body and flew toward the Earth Saint King. As for Bing Shui's body, he was once again covered in ice and turned into an ice sculpture. What's going on? Is it over? When the surrounding people saw this scene, they were all stunned. The Earth Saint King was extremely nervous. In the next moment, he felt an extremely terrifying power of the law coming from the ball of light. Moreover, there was no danger. His body swayed, and he grabbed the blue ball of light. Suddenly, endless great paths wrapped around his body. This was the power of the law. Defeating the sculpture meant that they could obtain the power of the law. Everyone's eyes turned red. At their level, they could destroy the world with a raise of their hand. However, it was very difficult to improve further. The resources and power needed were really too much. They might not even improve for a few hundred years. However, it was possible under special circumstances. For example, if they found some treasures in this ancient secret realm, they could save hundreds or thousands of years of cultivation. This was a great opportunity for everyone. They did not expect the Earth Saint King to obtain it. Lin Xian was also surprised. He used the heavenly secret god eyes and saw that the Earth Saint King's law contained a layer of frost power. Obviously, this was the law power that he had just obtained. At the same time, the Earth Saint King saw the stairs in front of him shining. He walked forward. Everyone, I'm going to the second level. The other people's eyes turned red, and they also followed. However, they were blocked. The Earth Saint King walked over. Damn it, we can't go up. The Saint Kings all turned their heads and stared at the ice sculpture. Only by attacking and defeating him would they be qualified to enter. In an instant, everyone went up the battle stage. Lin Xian naturally went up as well. However, everyone was worried. With so many people attacking together, who would be the winner? However, in the next moment, they realized that there seemed to be a barrier around them. Each and every one of them. There was a frost tooth in front of them. What a terrifying formation. Lin Xian was surprised. He realized that this did not seem to be an illusion. The power of each frost tooth was not weaker than the previous one. Boom! A great battle instantly broke out. It was very terrifying. In an instant, many people were sent flying and vomited blood. These were all late-stage Saint Venerables and half-step Saint Kings. They originally thought that with a dozen battle servants attacking together, they could at least resist. Chapter 44-51. After a single move, they were sent flying and injured. This made them not dare to rely on the test anymore. They could only stay outside and wait with gritted teeth. It seemed that unless one was a true Saint King, it was impossible for others to pass. Some people gritted their teeth and turned to leave. They did not have the strength of a Saint King at all. Of course, some people stayed here. That was because their elders and experts were inside. Someone said, "No, there are still a few of us who haven't come out." Are you talking about young Master Ling Tian? Although he is a half-step Saint King, I'm afraid his methods are far from what we can compare to. It might even be beyond our imagination. Also, Insu from Qingqiu Grotto Heaven did not come out either. Meng Hao from Haran Grotto Heaven did not come out either. The young genius from Thousand Mountain Grotto Heaven did not seem to come. However, the Earth Saint King from Thousand Mountain Grotto Heaven was extremely terrifying. Everyone was discussing. Someone said, "Oh right, the mysterious person from before seems to have gone in too. He hasn't come out yet." These people were all waiting. In front of them, an endless storm of laws was set off. There was also a sky full of frost, covering everything. The people could not see clearly at all. They could only hear extremely terrifying auras clashing. Lin Xian looked around and found that this barrier was very mysterious. Even a Saint King could not see through it. This made him heave a sigh of relief. This was great. This way, he would have no worries and could directly attack with all his strength. The ice fong in front of him roared into the sky. The crack that was shattered by the Earth Saint King had disappeared. This meant that the other party had indeed been refined by an even more terrifying existence. It was equivalent to a puppet guardian. Roar! The ice fong roared, shaking the heavens and the earth. Its huge body charged over. It carried a storm that filled the sky. Its wings also carried a fierce aura. In an instant, Lin Xian's surroundings were frozen and covered in frost. Lin Xian was also frozen. Its terrifying claws slapped over, wanting to smash Lin Xian into pieces. Lin Xian sneered. The death precept on his body disappeared and was replaced by a ball of divine fire. It was so terrifying that the 9 suns' divine fire instantly exploded. The frost in the sky melted and turned into white mist. It danced between heaven and earth. As for him, he sent out a palm strike. The 9 suns' divine palm collided with the opponent's claw. An earth-shattering sound rang out. Lin Xian took 3 steps back, while Ice Snow Teeth was also knocked back. What a strong power, but so what? Lin Xian laughed heartily and charged forward. Previously, he had only exchanged 3 blows with the sage ruler of the Xiling Grotto Heaven. He then left. Now, he was truly going to make a move. His terrifying fists continued to swing as his powerful physique charged forward and engaged in a fierce battle with his opponent. The battle between the two was earth-shattering. After exchanging tens of thousands of blows, Lin Xian let out a hearty laugh. It had been a long time since he had fought someone like this. However, he also knew that it was time to end this. He took out the Spear of Great Destruction and used the power of his divine body to complement this inherited weapon. He was probably extremely strong. A single strike pierced through heaven and earth. Endless demonic chi shook the 9 heavens and 10 lands. At that moment, even the people outside were frightened. Who was attacking? Even the people in the other barriers also changed their expressions. What a terrifying demonic aura. There was also a terrifying power. Who was it? Even the sage rulers were extremely surprised. Finally, Lin Xian defeated Ice Snow Teeth. A blue light came out of Ice Snow Teeth's body. Lin Xian used the Great Dragon Sword's soul and directly swallowed the power of the laws. The Great Dragon Sword's soul now urgently needed all kinds of power to improve. This power was amazing. Great. Lin Xian's lips curled into a smile. Such a battle should have consumed a lot of energy. However, Lin Xian could feel that his strength had become even more powerful than when he had entered. Great. Lin Xian was overjoyed. If he could reach the top of the pagoda. He didn't know how strong the Great Dragon Sword's soul would be. Thinking of this, his figure swayed as he directly walked out of the barrier and toward the stairs in front of him. At the same time, the golden flames on his body disappeared. What replaced it was the death fog again. Before him, a sage ruler had already entered. It was the sage ruler of Xiling Grotto Heaven. After him, there were also sage rulers who came out. For example, the sage ruler of the Ice Serpent clan and other sage rulers. There were a total of 6 sage rulers. Other than that, there were half-step sage rulers. Among the half-step Saint Kings, there were 3 people. These 3 people were also extremely powerful. The first was young Master Ling Tian. Although young Master Ling Tian was a half-step sage ruler, he had a sage ruler weapon in his hand. Not only him, but Meng Hao of Xiling Grotto Heaven and Yin Su of Qingqiu Grotto Heaven also had sage ruler weapons in their hands. Therefore, the 3 of them also successfully passed the first level. After obtaining the power of the laws, they continued to move toward the second level. When the three of them arrived, they found that there were already 7 people standing in front of them. 6 sage rulers and a mysterious person. Other than that, there were only the 3 of them. The other experts and geniuses were not qualified to enter. Lin Xian looked at the 3 of them and revealed a look of surprise. As expected of the buried Emperor Star, the 3 of them should have used their trump cards. He guessed that they should be sage ruler weapons. 10 people, more than he had imagined. Including the second level, let's not be courteous. In front of them, the elder from Howren Grotto Heaven said loudly. Their gazes were all focused on the front. There was also a large hall in front of them, and in the middle of the hall, there was also an ice statue. At that moment, as the crowd walked forward, the ice statue was constantly shaking. Then, countless cracks appeared, and a barrier was formed. Amidst the shattered ice, a figure walked out. When this figure appeared, everyone's expression changed. They felt an extremely terrifying aura sweeping over from the front. It caused everyone's bodies to stiffen. Even Lin Xian felt an enormous pressure. So powerful. The guardian puppet of the second level was probably much stronger than the guardian puppet of the first level. Dragons and 3-eyed ice dragons. Damn it, it was actually such a powerful existence. When the elder from Howren Grotto Heaven saw this, his expression turned ugly. He said, "Hurry up and leave if you don't have the strength." After saying that, he looked at the genius from Howren Grotto Heaven. It was Meng Hao. When Meng Hao heard the elder's warning, he wanted to retreat, but it was too late. Countless barriers appeared around them, enveloping them. Not good. The elder from Howren Grotto Heaven's expression changed. He did not expect it to be so fast. He did not know how their people were doing. There was no other way. Here, life and death were up to fate. Even if they were defeated, they should be able to stay alive. When they thought about how these people all had sage ruler weapons, they were not too worried. In the next moment, the sage rulers' expressions turned cold as they looked forward. Even if they wanted to defeat such an existence, it would not be easy. Damn it, who the hell is this guy? The guardian refined was too powerful. This pagoda had a total of 7 levels, and the second level was already so terrifying. Chapter 44-52. Everyone's faces were extremely serious. Even Yin Su, Meng Hao, and the others took deep breaths. They knew that it was impossible for them to pass the trial. Hence, they decided to use all their strength to train themselves. Young Master Ling Tian's eyes flickered. No one knew what he was thinking. But soon, he broke into a grin. The 3-eyed ice dragon's aura and strength were extremely powerful. It was much more terrifying than an ordinary initial stage Saint King. Hence, no one dared to underestimate it. Dragons were the leaders of all monsters. They had the legendary bloodline of the divine beasts. They were extremely powerful. Thus, the crowd all felt enormous pressure. The Earth Saint King took a deep breath. He looked extremely solemn. He also felt a sense of danger. He was very clear about his own strength. He was afraid that this battle would be extremely difficult. However, he still made his move. His eyes became sharp and the law of Earth appeared on his body. In an instant, he used the vigor spirit. Then, a giant axe appeared in his hand. He slashed the axe forward. The terrifying power could split the world. On the other side, the 3-eyed ice dragon also made his move. He roared and the storm on his face turned into frost. He flew out. It collided with the mountain-splitting axe. Boom! With one blow, the Earth Saint King was sent flying. Countless cracks appeared on his hands. He could not even hold his own. She almost couldn't hold it in anymore. His opponent did not even come. He only shot out a ray of light, and it was already so terrifying. As for the dragons, it was said that their physique was even more terrifying. If this continued, he would not have any chance of winning. As expected, he was injured even more severely. On the other side, the other 5 holy lights were also in great danger. Lin Xian stood there with a strange look on his face. The Dragon Clan. To be honest, if it were other monsters, he would not have any chance of winning this battle. After all, they were too powerful. They were far more powerful than the ice teeth from before. However, if it were the dragons, it would be different. Up ahead, the 3 eyes of the 3-eyed ice dragon looked at Lin Xian with disdain. Clearly, in his opinion, such an ant would not even be able to block a single ray of his frost light. Buzz! Suddenly, an extremely cold light burst out from his eyes. Without waiting for his opponent to make a move, he used the dragon's breathing technique. A mysterious aura appeared between heaven and earth. The 3-eyed ice dragon was stunned. He felt the same aura. Was this person in front of him a dragon? He was not sure. He roared. The light of frost came straight at him. Lin Xian used the void escape technique and instantly dodged. A black hole appeared where he had been standing and was quickly sealed in ice. Most likely, even a saint ruler would not be able to withstand this attack. However, Lin Xian used his spatial mystique breathing mystique. Coupled with the Dragon Clan's breathing technique, the power of the Great Dragon Sword Soul was even stronger. Dragon was Dragon, Xian was Dragon Dragon. The 3-eyed ice dragon was Dragon. The 3-eyed ice dragon was even more confused now. It lifted its head and roared, as if questioning Lin Xian. Lin Xian then took out the blue dragon horn. The voice of the dragon horn could be heard. The dragon horn could command dragons. When the 3-eyed ice dragon heard it, it changed. He seemed to be suppressed. It was a suppression from the soul. Although he was now a puppet guardian, he was still a dragon. Under the dragon horn, his power was suppressed. This was a good opportunity. Lin Xian activated the Great Dragon Sword Soul and performed the Azure Dragon Horn with all his might. There was no suspense in this battle. Sure enough, the Dragon Sword Soul's power was fully activated. The dragon horn showed its power. The 3-eyed ice dragon did not attack. The frost on his body condensed again, forming an ice sculpture. Lin Xian succeeded. He let out a sigh of relief and put away the dragon horn. Lin Xian walked out. Then he entered the 3rd level. He actually went in. Yin Su exclaimed. Meng Hao's pupils constricted. The 2 of them had been beaten out earlier. They were waiting in the distance. When they saw Lin Xian come out, they were shocked. He was the first one to come out. It was unbelievable. How could this person be so terrifying? After all, the strongest of the 6 Saint Kings was the old man from vast heavenly grotto, who was very close to the mid-Saint King level. Next to him was the Saint King from the Divine Mammoths. After him were the Earth Saint Kings. They guessed that the elders from vast heavenly grotto had come out earlier. But then, they realized that they were wrong. Was it really that mysterious person? Boom! It was at this moment that a huge boom rang out. Next, a figure was sent tumbling backward, coughing up blood. It was Saint King Ice Snake. Meng Hao and Yin Su were both shocked. Had a Saint King finally been defeated? Saint King Ice Snake was a middle-aged man, and his face was as pale as death. Damn it! Damn it! Truth be told, he was very strong, but unfortunately, he was an ice snake. He was from the Ice Serpent race, and when he encountered the Ice Dragon race, his bloodline and soul were naturally suppressed, and he could not use his full strength. And so, he was defeated. Following that, more and more Saint Kings were defeated. They weren't willing to give up, but after coming out, they were all seriously injured, and could only grit their teeth. They wondered who would pass in the end. Saint King Ice Snake frowned. On the other side was Saint King Blackhawk, who radiated boundless killing intent. My guess is that there are at most 2 people who passed. Elder Howren is one of them. Other than him, the divine mammoth sacred king might have succeeded. However, it was at this point that Meng Hao said, "Seniors, the mysterious person from just now has already passed through to the 3rd level." What? Once these words were spoken, the expressions of the Saint Kings changed. Someone had already successfully passed. Damn it, who the hell is that mysterious man? I don't seem to sense the aura of a Saint King on him. Could it be that he was hiding his true strength? This person is terrifying. If we run into him in the future, we'll have to be careful. The Saint Kings began to discuss the matter. It was at this point that Elder Howren let out a roar and charged out immediately. He did it. Meng Hao was delighted, and clenched his fists. After emerging, Elder Howren entered the 3rd level. Not long after him, another tall figure appeared. His power was even more terrifying than that of the Saint Kings in the grand competition. He was Saint King God Mammoth, who was also from the 10,000 primeval tribes, and had an extremely powerful bloodline. He also emerged from the 3rd level. However, he didn't seem to be in good condition. His blood was stained, and he seemed to be seriously injured. And yet, he had still succeeded. Obviously, he had benefited a lot. Before long, Saint King Earth King was sent tumbling backward, coughing up blood. Although he had been able to hold out until now, he had reached his limit. Chapter 44-53. Damn it. The Earth Saint King gritted his teeth. If Elder Tianchi was here, he would definitely succeed. Elder Tianchi was a mid-stage Saint King. However, he was not in this area. They should have all come out. Elder Ice Snake looked around. However, Insu did say that there was one more person, Ling Tian. That guy was still inside. What? He was also inside. The Saint Kings were stunned. They were no match for it. How could a young man like Ling Tian block it? These people looked in front of them in disbelief. In the area ahead, Ling Tian's face was pale. His body was covered in blood, and he held a purple scroll in his hand. This was the weapon of a Saint King. He was no match for the 3-eyed ice dragon. Logically speaking, he should have been eliminated long ago. However, he was still standing here at this moment. Young Master Ling Tian was not defeated because there was a figure standing in front of him. It was a person wearing battle armor. This was the battle servant's battle armor. This time, young Master Ling Tian brought 3 battle servants. Among them was Fu Hongya and the other 2. This person was one of them. This battle servant was not ordinary because he was a Saint King, and a very powerful one at that. Young Master Ling Tian was the top genius of Xiling Grotto Heaven. His grandfather was also a supreme elder. Moreover, he was very terrifying. His cultivation had reached the great sage level, but he was 3,000 years younger than the other supreme elders. It could be said that there was a possibility of further advancement in the future. Therefore, Ling Tian's identity was naturally not ordinary. Among his battle servants, there was a Saint King. At this moment, it was this Saint King who blocked the attack in front of him. In the end, this Saint King battle servant even defeated the 3-eyed ice dragon and won. In front of him, a blue light of the Great Tao appeared again and enveloped young Master Ling Tian. Then, his power of the laws increased. Then, he walked out and walked towards the third level. No way, did he really succeed? Outside, those who had failed were also very surprised when they saw this scene. How on earth did this brat succeed? No one knew. On the third level, Lin Xian stood there. His eyes were shining as he looked at the ice sculpture in front of him. He did not act rashly. The three-eyed ice dragon on the second level was already so powerful. The guardian on the third level would probably be even more terrifying. After waiting for a while, he noticed that someone had come up. It was an old man. The old man from the vast sky grotto heaven was stunned as well. He originally thought that he was the first to arrive, but he realized that Lin Xian was already here. Not long after that, another tall figure walked over. His body was injured. It was the statue Holy King. When he arrived, he was equally surprised when he saw the two of them. Your Excellency, you're truly skilled. May I know who you are? The elder of the Howrent Grotto Heaven asked once more. Lin Xian didn't say anything. Sage King God Elephant frowned. It seems that only the three of us have passed. I wonder if the three of us can join forces. Before he could finish, footsteps came from the stairs. Then, a fourth figure appeared. The three of them turned their heads. Who was it? Was it the Earth Saint King or some other saint? However, when they saw that it was a young man, they were all stunned. It was him. Lin Xian was also surprised. It was actually young Master Ling Tian. At this moment, young Master Ling Tian had 3 battle servants behind him. There was a smile on his face. How did this guy get up here? The 2 Saint Kings were surprised. Lin Xian was surprised. He had some ability. Compared to his younger brother, young Master Ling Su, he was much stronger. However, since he dared to make Fu Hongya a battle servant, Lin Xian wouldn't let him off. Alright, let's begin. Lin Xian said coldly. He walked forward. The other 2 Saint Kings also took a deep breath. Young Master Ling Tian also walked up. When they got onto the battle platform, the ice sculpture in front of them cracked again. Then, a guardian walked out. It was a huge ant. Its entire body emitted a metallic luster. With a light wave of its claws, the heavens and earth immediately collapsed. Seeing this scene, Elder Howren sucked in a breath of cold air. Damn it, it was actually the legendary heavenly horned ant. It was an extremely terrifying exotic beast. Its strength was extremely terrifying. Everyone's expression became even more unsightly. The heavenly horned ant was even more terrifying than the 3-eyed ice dragon. However, since they had already reached this step, it was impossible for them to admit defeat directly. They had to give it a try. After Ling Xian arrived, his expression was also serious. He guessed that such a terrifying demonic beast was at least a mid-stage Saint King. He couldn't fight against it. Therefore, he didn't plan to continue. Instead, he used his heavenly secret divine eyes and looked into the distance. He was looking for young Master Ling Tian. Since he couldn't defeat the guardian, Lin Xian had to see Fu Hongya. At least, he had to break the seal in Fu Hongya's body. There were a total of 4 barriers in the sky. Soon, Lin Xian's lips curled into a smile. These barriers were mysterious. Even Saint Kings couldn't see through them. However, his heavenly secret divine eyes weren't affected. He realized that young Master Ling Tian was actually beside him. In other words, as long as he broke the barrier, it would be fine. Lin Xian used the void escape technique. Although this was the only space-type mystic ability he knew, he had already mastered it to the acme of perfection. In addition, the power of the great dragon sword soul had increased. Therefore, he directly came to the spatial barrier where the other party was. When Lin Xian came out, young Master Ling Tian was startled. In the next moment, his pupils shrank. "It's you. How did you get in?" He was also very nervous about this mysterious person. Previously, he didn't care about him. However, since the other party could come here, it meant that the other party was definitely a Saint King. "What? You want to attack me? You don't know the difference between life and death." Young Master Ling Tian snorted coldly. He waved his hand and 3 people walked over. The one at the front released an extremely terrifying power of laws. Lin Xian was surprised. It was actually a Saint King battle servant. No wonder you could come here. Indeed, the most powerful battle axes of ordinary top geniuses were only half-step Saint Kings. He didn't expect that this brat would have a Saint King battle servant. It seemed that he was a Saint King from another world. After coming to the buried Emperor Star, he was suppressed. "Although I don't know who you are, I can feel your killing intent towards me. However, since you dare to go against me, I can only say that you don't know the difference between life and death. Kill him." Young Master Ling Tian waved his hand and the 3 battle servants directly attacked. Among them, the battle servant Saint King was extremely terrifying. Lin Xian felt the threat. He didn't take it head-on. His body shook and he directly dodged. Then, he took out the Great Sage Pagoda. He put the Saint King and the Heavenly Horned Ant inside. "Damn it, what did you do?" Young Master Ling Tian was stunned. The Saint King had disappeared. That strange beast had also disappeared. Only they were left. He had to face it alone. Chapter 44-54. He said, "Don't mess around. Let me tell you, my grandfather is the Grand Elder. If you attack me, you'll be completely offending the Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven. The consequences are not something you can imagine. If you leave obediently and release my battle servant, I can treat it as if nothing happened." As soon as he finished speaking, he was slapped and his entire body flew high into the air. His face was smashed. Then, he was stepped onto the ground by a foot. "Damn it, how dare he hit my face? Damn it, who are you? Why are you doing this?" He roared crazily. "Have I offended you?" Lin Xian sneered. "I just want to attack." "Why? Are you unhappy?" As he spoke, he attacked continuously and completely smashed the other party's face. In fact, he even smashed the other party's body. A bloody mist condensed in the sky and the other party was terrified. "Damn it, if my grandfather catches you, he'll definitely not let you off." "Is that so?" Lin Xian snorted and directly activated his heavenly secret divine eyes, locking the other party's soul and sending him into the cycle of reincarnation. "I'll let you suffer a little." Lin Xian did not kill him, but he did not let him off either. He spared his life because of Fu Hongye. At this moment, young Master Ling Tian could not resist at all in front of Lin Xian. His soul entered the cycle of reincarnation to be punished. Lin Xian, on the other hand, looked at the other 2 battle servants and attacked them directly. He waved his hand and shot out a yin-yang image, suppressing one of them. Then, he looked at Fu Hongye. The 5 elements laws flew out and formed a 5 elements mountain that shrouded Hongye. Then, Lin Xian walked up and said, "Hongye, it's me." Fu Hongye roared crazily. His eyes were red and the killing intent on his body kept erupting. Even though he was suppressed by the 5 elements mountain, he fought back crazily and cracks appeared on his body. Seeing this scene, Lin Xian sighed and waved his hand, causing the other party to fall into a deep sleep. Lin Xian discovered that there was indeed a seal in Fu Hongya's body. It was also a life and death curse, but the arrangement of the runes was different. Therefore, the way to break it was different too. That was the difference between the grotto heavens. However, it was all the same to Lin Xian. He directly used the dragon sword soul to break it. At this moment, the great dragon sword soul had gone through the energy of the first and second layers. In addition to the ice soul god crystal from before, its might had become even stronger than before. Therefore, Lin Xian was also stronger. He was also much faster at deciphering them. Of course, even so, it still took Lin Xian 2 days to completely remove the life and death curse in Fu Hongya's body. Then, he used his heavenly secret god eyes to carefully check again. After discovering that there was no danger, he used the great dragon sword spirit to form a fake life and death curse and placed it in the other party's body. He infused his power to wake Fu Hongya up. After Fu Hongya opened her eyes, she looked around cautiously and said, "Senior brothers, junior brothers, run." However, he realized that there was no danger around him. What's going on? But when he saw Lin Xian, he exclaimed, "Young martial uncle, it's you. Everything is fine. That's great. Are we safe now?" Lin Xian said. "No." He told Lin Xian about what happened. After hearing this, Fu Hongya also said, "No wonder. Why do I feel like I can't remember anything? I actually became a battle servant, a puppet." He was really scared. If Lin Xian hadn't met him, he might have been a puppet for the rest of his life. "How are the others?" Lin Xian asked. Fu Hongya shook his head. "I'm not sure. The situation was too dangerous. There were too many enemies. Everyone was separated. I was suppressed by the Sage King. But I know that Shangwan Shaoxian and Lu Yuan are in Xiling Grotto Heaven too. Because the 3 of us are under the life and death curse." Lin Xian frowned. He knew the whereabouts of the 3 of them. He wondered how the others were doing. He wondered if Qing Cheng and Qiu had left. Fu Hongya asked, "Little martial uncle, how is master? Has he been suppressed too?" Lin Xian said, "No. He left. I'm in Thousand Mountain Grotto Heaven now. I'm a battle servant in name, but I've removed the life and death curse. I've also removed your life and death curse. What do you plan to do now?" Lin Xian asked. He looked at Fu Hongya and said, "You have 2 choices. First, I'll kill Ling Tian. Then you'll be free. You can go somewhere else to cultivate and come back when you're stronger. Second, you can be like me and pretend to be a battle servant. You can use Xiling Grotto Heaven's cultivation resources to strengthen yourself. You can leave when the time is right. But if you do that, you won't be able to kill Ling Tian for now." Fu Hongya thought for a moment and said, "I'll stay." He wasn't familiar with the buried Emperor star. If he went somewhere else, he might be suppressed again and become a battle servant. He might as well stay here. After all, he was no longer threatened by the life and death curse. Moreover, he could use the cultivation resources here to cultivate. As for Ling Tian, he said, "I'll kill this person personally." "All right." Lin Xian nodded and said, "I won't kill him. However, I won't let him off so easily." He waved his hand and endless laws, including a black rune, appeared. "What's this?" Fu Hongya was stunned. Lin Xian said, "The great sage corpse poison. When I expelled the poison from those sage kings, I left some behind. Firstly, I want to study it. Secondly, it might have an unexpected effect." After doing that, Lin Xian waved his hand and injected the drop of Great Sage Corpse poison into Ling Tian's body. Then he said, "It won't take his life, but it won't make him feel good either. Alright, you should be careful from now on." He stood up and withdrew his eye technique. At this moment, Ling Tian had already fainted. His soul had been tortured for thousands of years and was heavily injured. Coupled with the Great Sage Corpse poison, even if he didn't die, he would be heavily injured. He might even become a cripple. Lin Xian took out the Great Sage Pagoda and released the Heavenly Horned Ant and Sage King. That Sage King was already on the verge of death. He was inside the Great Sage Pagoda. He originally wanted to escape, but he discovered that he couldn't break it at all. This was the Great Sage's Wu. Even if he used all of his strength, he still couldn't open it. Therefore, he could only face the Heavenly Horned Ant's pursuit and continuously dodge. But even so, he was still heavily injured. Lin Xian released a cold snort. After releasing the two, he directly left. He walked out of the barrier. On the other side, the divine statues Saint and Elder Haren also left. Of course, they both failed. The two of them looked forward. There were still two people who didn't come out. They wondered how that mysterious person was doing. Chapter 44-55. Suddenly, they realized that the mysterious man had walked out. He did not continue to the 4th level. It seemed like he had failed. The two of them heaved a sigh of relief. They knew it. If the other party succeeded, it would be too heaven-defying. After Lin Xian came out, he did not stop. With a flash, he flew down. He left the pagoda. At the same time, a few other figures also flew out. It was young Master Ling Tian and the rest. However, young Master Ling Tian's situation was not good. His face was pale, and there was even a mysterious black aura around him. After coming out, the Saint King battle servant roared at the sky. "Ah, damn it, young master, how are you? Damn it, the aura on his body is terrifying." However, the saint blood made one's scalp numb. Sensing the aura, Elder Haren's face changed. It was actually a Saint King. No wonder Ling Tian could come here. It turned out that he brought along such a terrifying existence. The two of them instantly understood. However, even if that was the case, Ling Tian would still be heavily injured. The Saint King battle servant raised his head and said, "Where is the mysterious man? Where did he go? He actually dared to beat young Master Ling Tian to such a state. My purple spirit grotto will not let him go." What? This guy was not beaten by the heavenly horned ant, but by the mysterious man. What kind of joke was this? How could that guy pass through the barrier? Damn it, the battle servant crushed the token on his body and quickly gathered the people of Purple Spirit Heaven. Not long after, the people of Purple Spirit Grotto arrived. When they found out that young Master Ling Tian was heavily injured and even poisoned, their faces changed. Young Master Ling Tian's identity was extremely terrifying. If he were to die here, his grandfather, the Supreme Elder, would definitely be infuriated. All of them would suffer. Therefore, these people said to take out pills to save young Master Ling Tian first. Everyone stopped searching for treasures. These people were incomparably nervous. The people of other grotto heavens were even more shocked. Young Master Ling Tian was heavily injured. Especially Elder Haren and the rest, they were even more shocked. That mysterious man was too terrifying. He actually dared to do such a thing. How did he do it? In an instant, the people of Purple Spirit Grotto frantically searched for that mysterious man. However, Lin Xian had already left. After he left, he changed his aura. He had 10 types of laws. After putting away the law of death and releasing the law of 5 elements, the situation instantly changed. Even if these people turned the world upside down, they probably wouldn't know that he was the one who did it. Although he had only gone to the 3rd floor, Lin Xian's harvest was not small at all. First, the great dragon sword soul had been upgraded. Then, he had saved Fu Hongye. He was very satisfied. Next, he flew again in search of other places. It could be said that there were indeed treasures in this place. However, it was also extremely dangerous. Many people had died here. In the past few days, Lin Xian had seen quite a few battles, and there were even Saint Kings among them. He ignored all of them. There was another intense battle ahead. Lin Xian's eyes flickered and he frowned slightly. He wanted to change direction and continue flying. However, at that moment, the people below also sensed his presence. Immediately, someone cried out in alarm. "Are you from the Thousand Mountain Grotto? Hurry up and help." It shook the 9 heavens. Lin Xian was stunned and looked down. In the next moment, he saw that there were people from the Thousand Mountain Grotto among the people fighting below. Moreover, the leader was a Saint King. It seemed that it was impossible for him to escape. Hence, he quickly descended. Opposite him were Violet Grave Grotto and a few experts from the ancient clans. They were extremely nervous when they saw that someone had arrived. "Are the experts from the Thousand Mountain Grotto here?" However, when they saw that it was only Lin Xian who had descended, they were all stunned. Then, they sneered. It was just a battle servant, and a saint venerable battle servant at that. There was no difference between him and an ant. "Chen Su, are you trying to use such a person to help you? How ridiculous." The leading expert was called Elder Chen Su. At that moment, he was also frowning slightly. He said coldly, "Why are you here alone?" Lin Xian said, "I was following Princess Xueqi. However, I was chased by a Saint King from the Violet Spirit Grotto. I let Princess Xueqi go first. Later, I brought that Saint King to 2 powerful demonic beasts. Only then was I able to escape." Was it the Violet Spirit Grotto again? Elder Chen Su's expression turned extremely ugly. It seemed that he would not be able to defeat them today. "Let's go." However, the people in front sneered. "Do you think it's possible for you to escape? It's impossible for you to not hand over something today. Hand over the treasure you found, and give me all your storage rings. I'll consider killing you. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude." The people in front were extremely powerful. Whether it was the number of Saint Kings or the number of half-step Saint Kings, they had the advantage. It was already very difficult for the Thousand Mountain Grotto to fight for so long and still persist. Lin Xian did not plan to attack. Although he was powerful and had formations, he did not plan to show them. Just as everyone was in a difficult position, another voice came from afar. Then, the earth shook, and a terrifying power swept out in all directions. "Who dares to attack the people of the Thousand Mountain Grotto?" With a roar, the earth split open, forming an endless canyon. The surrounding people's expressions changed. However, the people of the Thousand Mountain Grotto were overjoyed. Among them, Elder Chen Su exclaimed. It was the Earth Saint King. Great! A figure came from afar like a god of war. Under his feet, the earth seemed to come alive. He brought him to the front in an instant. On the opposite side, the people of the Xiling Grotto exclaimed. Even the people of the ancient race looked cold. They naturally knew that the Earth Saint King was an expert of the earth element. He was very powerful and had boundless strength. His defense was strong, and he was a difficult opponent. Now that the other side had an additional Saint King, the situation would be different if they continued fighting. Therefore, the people of the Xylem Grotto said, "You guys are very lucky. Let's go." The leading elder waved his hand, and those people quickly left. "Damn it, we can't let them escape. Hurry up and chase." Elder Chin Su shouted angrily. They had suffered a lot before. Now that the Earth Saint King was here, they could take revenge. However, the Earth Saint King stopped them. "Forget it, don't chase." "Why?" Elder Chen Su wanted to ask more, but the Earth Saint King's face turned pale. Instantly, he spat out a mouthful of blood. "What happened? Are you injured?" Elder Chen Su was shocked. The others were also very nervous. Chapter 44-56. I'm fine. I came across a martial pagoda and went in to look for opportunities. I was injured by the guardian of the pagoda. The Earth Saint King took out an elixir to heal his injuries. At the same time, he briefly explained what had happened. Everyone was shocked when they heard it. Elder Chen Su said the same thing. "Did you say that Ling Tian was severely injured and his life was uncertain? Who on earth was that mysterious man?" Regardless of who he was, it was a great achievement. The people of Xylem Grotto Heaven were being arrogant now. They all laughed. They did not know that the mysterious person they were talking about was right beside them. "Hurry up and heal your injuries. Let's meet up with Princess Xueqi and Ninth Young Master Yen." Elder Chen Su waved his hand and took out a saint weapon. He led everyone away quickly. It turned out that after Xueqi and Lin Xian left, they went on their way alone. Later, they met Ninth Young Master Yen and the others. She had no choice but to stay there temporarily. Later, the people of Thousand Mountain Grotto Heaven found an ancient cave with a powerful seal. It was obvious that the treasures inside were unimaginable. However, it also attracted other experts. Therefore, the people of Thousand Mountain Grotto Heaven called for other experts to gather quickly. They were searching for the ancient cave. After flying for about 3 days, the saint weapon landed and a group of people walked out. A cold voice came from the front. "Who is it?" "It's me." Elder Chen Su took out a token. It shone brightly with the image of thousands of mountains on it. The people in front heaved a sigh of relief. Then, 2 middle-aged men walked out. They said, "You're finally here. How's the situation?" The group of people asked as they walked. "The seal is very powerful. It can't be broken in a short time. Moreover, the people of other grotto heavens will discover it as time goes by. It's not good for us." At this moment, another group of people walked out from the front. The leader was Ninth Young Master Yen. When Ninth Young Master Yen saw the 2 great sage kings, he smiled. However, when he saw a figure in the group, he immediately frowned. "It's you." "Great." A wisp of cold killing intent appeared in his eyes. Just as he was about to order the Saint Kings to kill Lin Xian, Xueqi walked out from behind. He furrowed his brows, but he didn't issue any orders. After all, he didn't want to have a falling out with Xueqi. When Xueqi arrived and saw Lin Xian, she was overjoyed. "Are you all right?" "That was great. How did you escape the pursuit of the Saint King?" This scene stunned everyone. Was this still the incomparably cold ice mountain fairy? Everyone was in disbelief. It should be known that Xueqi was always ice, cold and expressionless. She never worried about anything. But now, he was actually worried about a battle servant. They felt as if they were dreaming. The saint rulers all frowned. They felt that something was not quite right. As for Ninth Young Master Yen, his face turned extremely ugly, and an extremely cold killing intent appeared in his eyes. He had already treated Xueqi as his woman, so he didn't allow anyone to get close to her. But now, Xueqi was actually so concerned about a battle servant. This filled him with killing intent. He would definitely not let this brat go. If he had the chance, he would kill him with his own hands. Lin Xian frowned as he sensed Ninth Young Master Yan's murderous intent. He sneered in his heart. Would Ninth Young Master Yan let him go? He also wouldn't let him go. If he had the chance, he wouldn't mind sending him to hell. As Lin Xian looked at Xueqi, who was in front of him, he smiled and said, "It's nothing. I used the 2 sunflowers to obstruct the Saint King. So, I left." Xueqi didn't doubt Lin Xian's words. After all, she didn't believe that Lin Xian alone could contend against a Saint King. At this moment, Elder Chen Su frowned and asked, "Princess Xueqi, what's so special about this battle servant?" Xueqi was taken aback. Soon after, she realized that she had been too worried. She didn't seem like someone who would treat a battle servant. Elder Chen Su took a deep breath and regained his composure. He then said coldly, "He's not ordinary. His formation skills are very high. With him here, we can break the seal." "What? Is this really the case?" The saint rulers were taken aback. If this was the case, then Princess Xueqi's behavior could be explained. "Brat, are your formations really amazing? Let's quickly come and take a look." The elder in front of them couldn't wait any longer. Xian walked forward and observed the formation. He then frowned. The formation was very complicated, and it was built with the 5 elements laws as its foundation. The people in the surroundings were also taken aback. They had studied it for a long time, but they didn't expect that this brat would be able to see through it instantly. It seemed like he was really an expert in formations. Someone asked, "Is there a way?" Lin Xian nodded and said, "There is a way." But what?" Another elder asked. His name was Golden Wind Saint King, and he was 9th Young Master Yan's guardian. Lin Xian said, "There is a way to break the formation. But the process of breaking the formation and the power required are too great. With just our paradise, it will be very troublesome. Even if we break the formation, we will consume a lot of energy. When the other paradises come, we won't be able to resist them. So, I think that it's better to spread the news and let other experts use their power. Break the formation quickly." "Brat, do you know what you are saying? Are you trying to give away the treasure that belongs to us? Do you want to die?" 9th Prince Yan's face was cold. Lin Xian looked at him and sneered. "Do you think that if we don't spread the news, those people won't be able to find us? We're all paradises, don't underestimate our strength. Also, I'm just giving a suggestion. As for the decision, it's up to the elders." After saying that, Lin Xian stood there and didn't say anything. The elders' eyes flashed and they started to discuss. In the end, they nodded. "All right, let's do it. Spread the news and let them come." 9th Prince Yan's face was ugly. He felt like he had been slapped in the face. Even with his status, his words were useless. Instead, these elders listened to a battle servant. It really made him lose face. The news spread, and not long after, many people walked over. People from the 3 paradises came. Other than that, there were also people from the ancient race. Seeing this, the elders felt that it was about time and said, "Everyone, there's an ancient cave abode in front. Also, there are strong seals inside. We can only enter if we work together to break them. So, I hope that everyone can cooperate." The people who came here also knew that if they didn't contribute some strength, they wouldn't be able to enter. So, the paradises and families sent some people. Then, Lin Xian and Xue Qi started to give orders. Chapter 44-57. However, after a while, they discovered that Lin Xian's formation was really powerful. It was even more terrifying than some of the older generation's formation masters. As such, they had nothing to say about it. With such power and formation mastery, the seal in front of them was finally broken. Soon after, a passage appeared. It was great. Upon seeing this, everyone was delighted. The passage had finally appeared, and they could enter it. The people from the Thousand Mountain Paradise heaved a sigh of relief. Where did Xue Qi find such a formation master? Moreover, he had become a battle servant, and if they nurtured him well, it would be much more convenient for them to bring such a master along when they searched for treasures in the future. The people from the other paradises were also surprised, and many of them stared at Lin Xian. Such a genius formation master had unexpectedly been found by the Thousand Mountain Paradise. It seemed like they would have to think of a way to deal with him after they finished searching the ancient cave. They didn't want the Thousand Mountain Paradise to become too powerful. Lin Xian didn't pay any attention to these people's gazes. No matter what these people thought, he wasn't afraid of them. This was because he wasn't controlled by the life and death curse. The reason why he was still here was that he felt like he could use the paradises to obtain resources and strengthen himself. If there was any danger, he could leave at any time. Alright, let's go and see what treasures are inside. The eyes of the elders from the Thousand Mountain Paradise flickered as they walked inside. Lin Xian and Xue Qi were together, and they both turned into flowing lights and disappeared. After the people from the Thousand Mountain Paradise entered, the people from the other paradises and clans also started moving. Soon, they all entered the cave. After they entered, they discovered that there was a different world inside the cave. It was also a world of ice and snow, and all kinds of ice and snow appeared together. The ice mountains in front of them were of different heights, and it was a strange sight. Moreover, the temperature here was even colder. Everyone felt as if they were about to be frozen into ice cubes. Moreover, they discovered that there were some things sealed in the ice cubes. Some of them were demonic beasts, some were plants, and some were even spirit herbs. The people were astonished, as it seemed like this cave had been a celestial place in the past. However, later on, it was completely frozen. If they could break the ice, then the treasures inside would be theirs. They did not act immediately because they found that the deeper they went, the better the frozen things were. In fact, many people's eyes had turned red. This was because they discovered that there were some spirit herbs sealed in ice inside. In the outside world, there were even some that were extinct. Even Lin Xian was surprised. Not only was he an array master, he was also an alchemist. If he could refine these spiritual herbs into pills, it would be of great help to his cultivation. Furthermore, there was another matter. Xia Zhuo's lifespan was running out. He had to think of a way to find the immortal medicine or the spacetime sword, or other heaven-defying items. Only then would he be able to prolong Elder Xia's life. While he was thinking, the others couldn't wait any longer. Hurry up and attack, these people directly attacked the frost. The frost didn't look thick, but it was even tougher than a saint artifact. He punched it, but there wasn't even a crack on it. However, these people began to attack frantically as if their lives depended on it. The eyes of the Saint Kings also flickered. He didn't immediately create a cave hand because there was still a tunnel ahead. There might be something even better inside. Lin Xian didn't stop either. He also walked inside. After walking for a while, Xue Qi cried out in surprise. It was the ice phoenix fruit. She looked ahead and saw a big tree sealed in the ice and snow ahead. There was a fruit on it that looked like a blue phoenix. It was the ice phoenix fruit. Xue Qi, I'll go get it for you. Ninth young Master Yen smiled when he saw this. His body flickered, and he stretched out a big hand to grab the tree ahead. Boom! The ice mountain in front of them was shaking non-stop. However, it didn't shatter. Instead, Ninth young Master Yen was knocked back. Damn it! Ninth young Master Yen shouted angrily and attacked again. However, the ice mountain ahead was tougher than he had expected. He attacked several times, but he still couldn't break it open. This made his expression even more unsightly. However, at this moment, an elder attacked. The Goldwind Saint King. He waved his hand, and a golden storm flew out with a powerful law. Finally, they broke through the iceberg. He waved his hand, and the ice phoenix fruit flew out and arrived in front of Ninth young Master Yen. Ninth young Master Yen stretched out his hand and caught the ice phoenix fruit. Then, he walked toward Xueqi. Speaking of which, Xueqi, this is for you. Thank you. Xueqi received the fruit and nodded. Then, she said, if I find other precious spirit herbs later, I'll exchange them with you. Or, when we get back, I'll give you the equivalent amount of dragon marrow. Xueqi clearly didn't want to owe Ninth young Master Yen a favor. Xueqi, don't treat me like an outsider. We'll be a family sooner or later. However, Xueqi's expression was ice-cold. She said to Lin Xian, let's go. After she said that, she ignored Ninth young Master Yen. Ninth young Master Yen looked at the two of them leaving, and a cold glint appeared in his eyes. Humph! You dare to ignore me? One day, I'll make you crawl at my feet. A cold killing intent appeared in his eyes. It was clear that Xueqi's attitude had angered him. More and more good things appeared in front of them. There were all kinds of strange flowers and strange fruits. The crowd was shocked. The crowd couldn't bear it anymore, and they attacked. Even Lin Xian couldn't bear it anymore. Boom! 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 All kinds of explosions echoed out, and the ice mountain shattered. Not only did spirit herbs come out of it, but the frozen demonic beasts also opened their eyes. It was as if they had come alive, and they attacked quickly. Boom! A giant black lizard appeared, and it connected the sky and the earth. It opened its mouth and spat out black fog, which turned two half-step holy kings into blood fog. Even their souls didn't manage to escape. Ah! A miserable shriek echoed out, and the crowd's scalp went numb. A holy king attacked and cut the other party in half. On the other side, other demonic beasts appeared. A great battle erupted, and the crowd didn't just attack the demonic beasts. They even attacked the other saints. After all, they were all fighting for precious spirit herbs. However, at this moment, the sky and the earth cracked, and a holy king was sent flying while spitting out blood. The crowd was shocked, and they discovered that it was a dandelion. However, it was extremely terrifying. The dandelion seeds formed peerless divine swords that pierced through the sky and the earth. A holy king was injured in such a way. It was too terrifying. It was the same for Lin Xian, and he stared at the fiery dragon tree. The tree was very mystical, and it looked like a real dragon. It stood there with terrifying flames on its body. The ice around it shattered. Chapter 44-58. This was good stuff. Ninth young Master Yan's eyes turned red when he saw this from afar. He wanted to order Golden Wind Sage King to snatch the treasure, but Lin Xian was faster. With a wave of the array formation, the fiery dragon tree was sealed and stored away. Ninth young Master Yan's eyes turned red. How could a battle servant have the right to take such a treasure? However, he did not attack immediately because there were still many spirit fruits around. It was worth it for him to attack with all his might. After all, Lin Xian could not run away. He would attack when he was safe. Buzz! 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 Lin Xian attacked and obtained more than 10 spirit herbs. He was overjoyed. Ninth young Master Yan's eyes turned red. He had only managed to snatch 2 spirit herbs, which was not even 1/5 of what Lin Xian had. He could not bear it. On the other side, Xueqi had also gained something. At this moment, another Sage King was injured. This time, there were even more Sage Kings who were injured because they had provoked a plant. It was a vine. After breaking the ice, the leaves on it were drawn into the shape of a heavenly blade. It actually formed a powerful array formation, trapping everyone. Damn it! Was it really a plant? It was too scary. They did not know how long it had cultivated to know about arrays. After everyone escaped with great difficulty, no one dared to provoke the vine again. At this moment, many snowmen appeared around them. These snowmen directly enveloped everyone. Lin Xian punched out, but he found that it was useless. The snowmen melted and covered him. At the same time, they felt the world spinning. In the next moment, they found that they had been frozen. However, they were frozen in the snow mountain and could still move. These people were frozen in different snow mountains. Lin Xian found that Xueqi, 9th young Master Yan, Elder Jin Feng, and a few others were here. They were all from the Thousand Mountain Cave. They heaved a sigh of relief. Great! At least there was no danger. Elder Jin Feng attacked the snow mountain a few times, but he found that he could not get out. He frowned. What should he do? The young master could not get out. 9th young Master Yan's face was gloomy. Xueqi looked around. We are in the snow mountain. It will be easier to get rare fruits. He wasn't in a hurry to go back, so he decided to take a look first. Everyone nodded and continued to walk forward. 9th young Master Yan followed behind, his eyes sparkling. Very quickly, his lips curled into a smile. Elder Jin, don't you think this is a good opportunity? Elder Jin Feng was taken aback. Young master, you want it? No one could leave this place for a while, and no one could enter. If something happened here, no one would be able to stop it. Xueqi will be mine sooner or later. I'm just trying to speed things up a little. I think it's nothing. Since young master has decided, I will do my best to assist young master. Since those 2 people don't know what's good for them, why not just kill them? As for the battle servant next to Xueqi, you must capture him alive. I will make him wish he was dead. It was obvious that 9th young Master Yan was about to make a move. He took out a mysterious incense stick. Then, he and Jin Feng swallowed the pill. In the next moment, he secretly lit the incense stick. He put it into his wide sleeves, and then walked up. Xueqi, if you want any spirit herbs, just tell me. I will ask Elder Jin Feng to get them for you. 9th young Master Yan said. Xueqi was expressionless. There's no need for that. I can get them myself. Humph. You still look like an iceberg. Just keep pretending. Let's see if you're still an iceberg. A cold smile appeared in 9th young Master Yan's eyes. Lin Xian, who was next to him, furrowed his brows. Something is wrong. He stopped. Wait. What's going on? Xueqi asked. 9th young Master Yan was taken aback. What is this lad trying to do? Lin Xian said. It seems like there's poison. Everyone held their breaths and checked. What? Poison. The surrounding people were all stunned. Even ninth young Master Yan's pupils contracted. Damn it! How did this lad know? He didn't know that Lin Xian had the great dragon sword soul in his body. So, when the energy entered his body, the great dragon sword soul detected it immediately. Then, it killed it. This was why Lin Xian knew that the other people were checking. They didn't sense anything. However, Xueqi's expression changed. She felt that the law on her body seemed to have weakened. It's really poisonous. Ninth young Master Yan shouted angrily. Elder Jin Feng. Elder Jin Feng clapped his hands and created 2 golden storms. They instantly engulfed the 2 disciples of the Thousand Mountain Cave. Then, the bodies of the 2 turned into a bloody mist. Even in death, the 2 of them refused to believe that they were often killed by their own elders. Xueqi was also shocked. She asked, Elder Jin Feng, what are you doing? Are you betraying the Thousand Mountain Cave? She was really shocked. Elder Jin Feng didn't say anything. Ninth young Master Yan sneered. Xueqi, don't worry. Elder Jin Feng won't attack you. He will just listen to my orders. Damn it. Are you crazy? What are you trying to do? Xueqi stared at ninth young Master Yan. Lin Xian also furrowed his brows. He sighed. Is this lad finally going to attack? But it's fine. The people outside probably don't know what kind of battle is going on here. It's a good place for him to attack. Xueqi, do you know? Since the first day I met you, I've treated you as my own. We will always be together. So, I want to speed things up. Today, you will become my woman. After I go back, I will ask my grandfather to propose marriage. Don't even think about it. Ninth young Master Yan snorted coldly. Ninth young Master Yan sneered. Is that so? It's not up to you to decide. After he spoke, he walked forward. Xueqi snorted coldly. If you come any closer, don't blame me for being rude. The law of ice surged out of his body. However, in an instant, she felt dizzy and almost fainted. She couldn't even stand steadily. Damn it! What did you do? She roared crazily. Ninth young Master Yan sneered coldly. It's nothing. I just lit the incense. Damn it! You unexpectedly have such a thing. Xueqi's expression became unsightly. It was a terrifying item that ordinary people couldn't use. But why did this lad have it? Moreover, he used it to deal with her. Xueqi didn't dare to imagine what would happen if she couldn't detoxify it. She froze. With a loud shout, she sealed herself in ice. Quickly attack! She shouted at Lin Xian. At the same time, Xueqi set up a terrifying array. Lin Xian also walked forward. I didn't expect that you would be in such a hurry to throw your life away. Fine, I will deal with you today. Lad, you dare to speak to me in such a manner. You really don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Chapter 44-59. Elder Jin, break this kid's limbs and cripple him. I'll teach him a good lesson later. As he spoke, he walked forward. His palm unleashed a terrifying power that swept out in all directions. The formation shook, but it did not break. At the same time, Lin Xian created a few formations that enveloped Xueqi. Damn it, how dare you ruin my plan? Yan Jiu was furious. Then he said, Elder Jin, break this formation first. Then he would kill this kid. Elder Jin walked out and wanted to attack. However, Lin Xian stopped him. Your opponent is me. Humph, how dare a mere battle servant be so arrogant in front of me? Get lost. With a furious roar, thousands of golden storms swept toward Lin Xian. Yan Jiao was also disdainful. After this attack, Yi Futian would not be able to fight back anymore. A terrifying storm exploded in front of him, and then it became extremely terrifying. However, when the storm disappeared, a figure stood there. What? He's not dead. Yan Jiao's eyes narrowed, and his face became extremely pale. Even Elder Jin Feng was stunned. How is this possible? Did he hide his strength? He was really shocked. Even a half-step Saint King could not block his attack, unless it was a true Saint King. However, Yi Futian blocked it. This meant that Yi Futian had either hidden his strength, which was at the level of a Saint King, or he had a Saint King Wu. Qi, however, no matter which it was beyond his expectations. Yan Jiao also said, Elder Jin Feng, kill him with all your strength first. Yan Jiao was going to break the formation himself. On the other side, Lin Xian sneered. It seems that no one will know if I kill you here. In that case, I don't need to hide my strength anymore. After that, Lin Xian roared, and endless golden flames appeared on his body. He was like a sun that shone in all directions. This sudden burst of strength made Elder Jin and Elder Jin's faces change. Yan Jiao was even more shocked. How is this possible? How can his body be so strong? His body is not weaker than a saint's. Elder Jin, catch him. He has secrets. I want his body refining technique. Yan Jiao roared crazily. He was truly overjoyed. If he could obtain such a secret technique, he would definitely be able to obtain it. At that time, who would be his match? Elder Jin Feng was also surprised. This kid actually had such a secret. Interesting. With a wave of his hand, an endless storm appeared in a flash, forming terrifying wind blades that circled around him. Then, he slashed out with his sword and slashed forward. So what if Yi Futian's physique was strong? So what if he had the physique of a Saint King? He was a true Sage King. Not only was his physique strong, but he had also completely surpassed his opponent in terms of precepts, strength, soul, and divine abilities. How could the other party compare to him? On the other side, Lin Xian also let out an angry roar. He took a step forward, and the golden light on his body swept out in all directions. With a palm strike, tens of thousands of golden crows appeared. Monstrous flames danced in the air, melting the surrounding ice. This attack was extremely powerful. Both of them exploded. The golden wind blades that filled the sky were actually defeated by this one card, causing them to lose their luster. It could be destroyed at any moment. Damn it! Elder Jin Feng roared. He did not expect Yi Futian to be so strong. With a roar, those dimmed golden wind blades became stronger again, turning into a peerless blade. The blade slashed down. Boom! With this slash, Lin Xian felt that his physique was under immense pressure. It was as if it was about to split open. He kept retreating, the blood in his body churning. At the same time, Yi Futian's attack came again. The golden storm that filled the sky turned into a golden lion. It charged forward. These were all formed by precepts, and they were enough to destroy everything. Its power was so strong that even a Saint King of the same level would not dare to underestimate it. Naturally, Lin Xian could also feel how terrifying this attack was. His body flickered as his speed increased to the extreme. At the same time, a terrifying demonic aura spread out from his body. Then, the spear of destruction flew out, piercing forward. The terrifying heaven and earth continued to shatter. This attack was powerful to the extreme. Boom! The golden-winged Saint King was instantly sent flying. His arm was trembling non-stop, and his face was incomparably cold. Damn it, Yi Futian really did have a Saint King Wu. Chi. A Saint King's physique and Saint King Wu. Yi Futian was very strong. Compared to other half-step Saint Kings, he was much stronger. Elder, are you okay? Seeing this scene, ninth young master's face also became extremely ugly. He did not expect Elder Jin Feng to be unable to defeat Yi Futian with his full strength. He also did not break the formation. He had already broken one formation, but there were still 3 more in front of him, enveloping Shui Qi. He could not break these 3 formations. He could not walk in front of Yi Futian. He could not fulfill his wish. So, he also attacked with all his might, and his Saint King Wu appeared in his hand. Chi with a single strike, he charged forward. On the other side, Elder Jin Feng also said, "Don't worry, young master. Chi has a Saint King's physique and strength, and he is not inferior to a Saint King. However, he is not a true Saint King. In terms of superpowers and soul, he is not my match at all. Lad, I admit that you are very strong, but so what? Today, you will die." Elder Jin Feng sneered. Die for me. His soul power rushed over in an overwhelming manner. It was obvious that he wanted to destroy Lin Xian's soul directly. Competing with soul power. Lin Xian sneered. He used his heavenly secret divine eyes, and a pair of golden eyes appeared behind him. They could look down on heaven and earth, like the eyes of a god. Ninth young master's soul was instantly suppressed, and he was sent flying, vomiting blood. If it was not for the Saint King Wu, Qi guard, this attack had already killed him. Damn it, how could his soul power be so strong? Elder Jin Feng's face also became ugly. He could feel that Yi Futian's soul was not weaker than his. How was this possible? This guy was just a Saint Venerable, not even a half-step Saint King. However, he could compete with a Saint King. Who was this guy? Damn it! Elder Jin Feng roared, and he used his soul power to attack. He used peerless superpowers, and they were extremely powerful. Now, the only thing that he could beat his opponent was these superpowers. Lin Xian used the void escape, and he kept dodging these terrifying superpowers. Elder Jin Feng seemed to have found an opportunity, and he sneered. Aren't you very strong? Why are you still dodging? If you are so capable, then compete with me. A Saint King can't even win against a Saint Venerable like me after fighting for so long. What right do you think you have to be arrogant here? Lin Xian sneered, and then the golden light in his eyes exploded again. Chapter 4460. Boz. Elder Jin Feng had wanted to use his soul to suppress Lin Fan. But when the light of the soul shot out, his face changed. He tried to escape quickly. However, he had used too much of his soul to suppress Lin Fan. Hence, he could not retract his soul completely. After that attack, his soul was injured, and he was sent flying while coughing up blood. Impossible. Damn it. How do you know the light of reincarnation? Could it be that you are from the Misty Peak? He was really too shocked. Oh, you know the light of reincarnation. Lin Xian was shocked as well. It seemed like the reincarnation guardian was from Ethereal Peak. Who are you? Elder Jin Feng roared. Ninth young Master Yen was stunned as well. Is he from Ethereal Peak? How is that possible? One must know that no matter how arrogant he was and how his status wasn't in Class 1, there was no way he could go against Ethereal Peak. But that shouldn't be the case. If he was from Ethereal Peak, how could he be captured by him and made into a battle servant? Don't believe him. He must have gotten the light of reincarnation by chance. He came from another world. He can't be from Ethereal Peak. Kill him with all your might. Elder Jean Fong came to his senses. But he was bitter. Kill him with all his might. To be honest, he was confident before. But now, he might not be able to do it. That was because the light of reincarnation had injured his soul severely. His strength had decreased tremendously. He could not bring out his best fighting strength. Coupled with Lin Fan's physique and the horrifying Sage King Wu, he was in a passive position. Indeed, after the battle, Elder Jean Fong was suppressed. As for Lin Xian, he was getting stronger. His divine body seemed to have endless energy. Elder Jean Fong spat out blood and cracks started to appear on his body. The spear of destruction pierced through Elder Jean Fong. The power of the dragon sword spirit roared out. The roar of the dragon resounded through the 9 heavens and 10 lands. Then, Elder Jean Feng's body was about to be torn apart. How is that possible? Ninth young Master Yen was stunned. Elder Jean Fong was so severely injured that he had forgotten to attack. Elder Jean Fong roared crazily. To be honest, he had never dreamed that he would be defeated by a sacred master one day. Damn it. Brat, you have thoroughly enraged me. Even if I have to damage my foundation, I will kill you. He roared, and the blood in his body burned continuously. It seemed like he was going to attack regardless of the consequences. A terrifying golden shadow appeared on his body. Endless great paths intertwined as if they could destroy a world. At this moment, it was extremely terrifying. Ha, kid, you're dead meat. Seeing this, 9th young Master Yen knew that Master Jean Fengzhang was really angry. Under this attack, any Saint King of the same level would definitely die. Not to mention, it was this kid. Amidst this crisis, Lin Xian coldly snorted. A dragon-shaped sword appeared in his hand, emitting a resonant dragon cry. Then, he slashed forward. Heaven and earth were split apart in an instant. Endless cracks spread out as the sword slashed towards Elder Jean Feng. Boom! Elder Jean Feng's body was split into 2. His eyes were wide open in disbelief. How could this be? Ah! He let out a crazy roar that shook the 9 heavens. In the distance, 9th young Master Yen was so shocked that he knelt on the ground. His opponent had the strength to split a Saint King in half with a sword. What was that? That sword shadow was too terrifying. Damn it, how dare you hurt me? In front, Elder Jean Feng roared. His body was quickly healing. However, he realized that it was impossible. There was an extremely terrifying force that prevented his body from healing completely. That crack was abnormally terrifying. Who are you? I am the one who will kill you. Lin Xian held the spear of great destruction in one hand and the dragon sword shadow in the other as he walked forward. His divine body was becoming more and more terrifying. At the same time, he waved the dragon-shaped sword shadow again and charged forward. Boom! 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 The battle broke out again. Not long after, Elder Jean Feng was split apart again. In the end, he turned into a bloody mist. He was terrified and wanted to escape. Lin Xian used the great dragon sword soul to create a sword path world that enveloped his opponent. Damn it, how dare you stop me? Kid, sister-in-law, you can't kill me. He roared at the sky. Lin Xian frowned. Indeed, his opponent was very powerful. He could defeat a Saint King now, but it was not that easy to kill one. His opponent was too strong. But so what? I can't kill you. You are too naive. Give me time, and no matter who you are, I will destroy your soul. Great Dragon Sword Soul, explode. Lin Xian shattered his opponent's storage ring and let the Great Dragon Sword Soul absorb all the power in the storage ring. The sword path world that was created kept attacking. Elder Jin Feng let out a roar as he fought against the ground. Lin Xian turned around and stared at Ninth Young Master Yen. Ninth Young Master Yen was so scared that his face turned pale. What are you trying to do? Don't come over. He kept retreating. At this point, he no longer wanted to break the formation. He did not want any wishes or restrictions. He just wanted to go back safely. Do you dare to kill me? I am your master. Life and Death Curse, activate. Ninth Young Master Yen roared crazily as his palms kept forming seals. So what if his opponent was strong? He was just a battle servant. He had 100 ways to make him kneel at his feet. However, he realized that Lin Xian was looking at him with a cold smile. Is the life and death curse that powerful? How is it possible that you are not affected? Are you not being controlled? Ninth Young Master Yen was completely stunned. Lin Xian threw a slap at Yen Zhou. Crack! Young Master Yen Zhou was sent flying with blood gushing out of his mouth. Countless cracks appeared on his body, and his blood stained the ground. He was in pain and fear. He wanted to escape. However, a foot stepped on his head. Don't you think it is too late to leave now? You tried to kill me time and time again. Do you think I will let you go? No, you can't kill me. My father is an elder. My grandfather is a supreme elder. My identity is very important. You killed me. If you kill me, the Thousand Mountain Grotto will not let you go. Is that so? Since your grandfather is a supreme elder, I will be dead if I let you go. So, go to hell obediently. Don't worry. I still remember what you said to me. I won't kill you so easily either. I'll let you have a taste of what pain is like. Lin Xian activated his heavenly secret divine eyes. Immediately, Ninth Young Master Yan's soul was pulled into the lock of spring and autumn. He suffered the pain of his soul for thousands of years. Arg! An instant outside was thousands of years inside. Ninth Young Master Yen went completely crazy. He was a demon king. It was too scary. Finally, when his soul came out, it touched a treasure in the depths of his soul. It was a rune. A terrifying aura surged out from his body. Who is it? How dare you attack my grandson? Chapter 44-61. This is great. Grandpa, save me. Hope appeared in Yen Zhou's eyes. His grandpa was the supreme elder, and the great sage had left something in his body to save his life. When his life was in danger, this life-saving imprint would appear. Even Elder Jin Feng laughed from afar. Ha, brat, you're dead meat. The injuries you gave me before, I will return it 10,000 times over. Lin Xian's eyes shone with a sharp light. When the voice sounded, a ray of reincarnation light shot out from his eyes. It pierced through Yen Zhou's soul. Yen Zhou's soul was destroyed. He did not believe that Lin Xian would dare to kill him. As for the seal that was left in his soul, it shattered. A frenzied roar rang out. The human figure that had yet to condense also vanished into thin air. Only a roar could be heard. Who are you? I will find you. How is this possible? Jin Feng, who was far away, had been on the verge of death. The Supreme Elder's imprint had given him hope. However, it shattered in an instant. Damn it! That ray of light was the reincarnation light. He was in despair. In the end, his soul was destroyed by the great dragon sword soul. Lin Xian snorted coldly. He broke Yan Zhou's storage ring and used the great dragon sword soul to cover everything in it. He erased all memories of Yan Zhou's soul. He took some of the cultivation techniques and used his heavenly secret divine eyes to look at them. Then, he destroyed them. As for the elixirs, he did not keep them. Yan Zhou's grandpa was the great sage. It would be troublesome to keep them. However, he did not waste them. He gave them all to the great dragon sword soul. Now, every time the great dragon sword soul's power increased, his strength would increase as well. Previously, he could only run when facing a sage king. Now, he could kill a sage king. Feeling the increase in strength, Lin Xian used all his strength to strengthen the great dragon sword soul. He shot out a ball of 9 suns divine fire. It enveloped Yan Zhou's body and turned him into ashes. Then, he walked forward. The array in front of him shone brightly. Lin Xian waved his hand and the array cracked. Xueqi's face was pale. The situation was very wrong. As she looked at Lin Xian, a trace of fear subconsciously appeared in her eyes. What did she see? Although she had been poisoned previously, she had still seen the previous battle. The other party had actually killed a sage king. Furthermore, that person had killed 9th young Master Yan and destroyed the talisman left behind by the Supreme Elder. Everything was too shocking. Was this really just a battle servant? Especially when he saw that Chu Feng was completely unaffected by the life and death curse, he was even more astonished. The other party wasn't a battle servant at all. The other party was a genius from another world who had been hiding beside them. Lin Xian's eyes flashed. Then, he said, "Your condition is very strange. Let me help you expel the poison first." Xueqi was very scared. After all, she had seen Lin Xian's secret, and she was afraid that Lin Xian would kill her to silence her. However, she was really very weak right now. She couldn't beat him at all, so she could only close her eyes and resign herself to fate. She could feel the other party walking in front of her. The other party's physique and vitality were like a furnace of heaven and earth. His powerful strength shocked her. At the same time, she felt a biting cold aura enter her body. It seemed to brighten up her originally weak nomological laws. Xueqi opened her eyes and looked at this scene in surprise. Chu Feng didn't kill her. He was really helping her. But why? Why didn't he kill her? She already knew his biggest secret. She opened her mouth and wanted to ask something, but Lin Xian told her to shut up and focus on recovering from her injuries. After he finished speaking, Lin Xian used the great dragon sword soul. He wanted to destroy the mysterious aura in her body. However, this time, Lin Xian was wrong. The great dragon sword soul could indeed destroy everything. However, the poison that Xueqi was poisoned with this time wasn't fatal. It wasn't like the great sage's corpse poison. It was another kind of poison. Logically speaking, the great dragon sword soul wouldn't be afraid of any poison, and it should be able to destroy it. However, this time, a strange fluctuation transmitted from the depths of the snowy mountain. Xueqi's body shivered. She felt that her ice law had become stronger, and it flew out of her body uncontrollably. Her aura, which she had already suppressed, erupted out once again. Lin Xian was also surprised. The great dragon sword soul had been ejected, and he immediately sensed the chilly aura. His divine body shone brightly, and the 9 suns' divine fire engulfed it. At the same time, he felt his blood boiling. Damn it! What's going on? Lin Xian discovered that Xueqi had already flown over. Then, his consciousness started to blur, and it seemed like he didn't know what was going on. After an unknown amount of time, Lin Xian finally woke up. When he opened his eyes, the first thing he did was to put up a defense. However, he discovered that he wasn't in any danger, as Xueqi was beside him. However, when he saw their current situation, he was dumbfounded. What's going on? Lin Xian discovered that the armor on his body was gone. Did something absurd happen between the two of them? It can't be, right? He tried to recall carefully, but he discovered that he couldn't remember anything. He stole a glance at Xueqi, and when he discovered that she still hadn't woken up, he heaved a sigh of relief. However, he quickly furrowed his brows, as his heavenly divine eyes couldn't detect the poison in Xueqi's body anymore. However, it seemed like the situation wasn't good, as there were flame marks on her body. It seemed like she had been injured by the Nine Suns' divine body. Lin Xian's Nine Suns' divine body was extremely tough, and it was one of the strongest physiques in the universe. Normally, Lin Xian wouldn't use the Nine Suns' divine fire, so it didn't matter if Xueqi stayed by his side. However, he didn't know what had happened before. Although he had used the Nine Suns' divine fire to detoxify her, she had been severely injured. However, he was also seriously injured by the Nine Suns' divine flames. From the looks of it, he was on the verge of death. Lin Xian felt quite awkward. When he was with Murong Qingqing and Shen Jingqiu, he was quite clear-headed, and he knew how to control his divine body's power. However, this time, it seemed like it had exceeded his expectations. He had to quickly save her. Lin Xian had used the law of wood to protect her life, and he had even taken out an elixir for her to consume. However, it still wasn't enough. The divine fire's destructive power was probably extremely strong. It seemed like he would have to look for an ice-based super treasure to get rid of her injuries. Lin Xian took Xueqi and walked forward. At the same time, he used the heavenly divine eyes. He detected an extremely terrifying aura ahead of him, and it seemed like even his Nine Suns' divine body was threatened by it. Chapter 44-62. The area in front of him was covered in silver, and the branches of the plants were like ice dragons baring their fangs and brandishing their claws. The ice here was even more terrifying, and Lin Xian had no choice but to use his divine body to defend himself. He had already taken Xueqi into the Great Sage Pagoda. Whitey also jumped out, and its eyes widened as it said, "This place is so cold." Lin Xian furrowed his brows. This shouldn't be the case, as even with his physique, he could still feel the coldness. What grade of ice is this place? All of a sudden, a gust of wind blew over, and it swept toward Lin Xian. Lin Xian dodged the gust of wind, and he continued walking in the direction he had come from. After walking for a while, a terrifying gust of wind would sweep toward him, and it seemed like it was leading the way for him. Finally, he arrived in front of him. There was an ice valley in front of him, and it seemed like a giant had torn open a crack in a mountain. Inside, there was even more terrifying cold ice. Moreover, there was a stone tablet in front of him. It was made of ice, and it was abnormally cold. The surroundings seemed to be a cave, as Lin Xian didn't just discover the stone tablet, but also a table and chairs made of ice, as well as a cave. Someone had once lived here. Lin Xian discovered that the surroundings were simple and unadorned, and he didn't know who lived here. However, he was sure that this person wasn't an ordinary person. Could it be the great sage that had died before? Or could it be an even more terrifying existence? Lin Xian didn't know. At this moment, a scroll on the table suddenly shone brightly. Soon after, it turned into a gust of wind, and it instantly engulfed Lin Xian. Buzz! A terrifying power erupted, and Lin Xian and Whitey were instantly sealed in ice. In the next instant, Lin Xian roared toward the sky, and the power of his divine body erupted, and cracks appeared on the ice. At the same time, the 9 suns' divine fire also swept out, and it melted the ice into water, which dripped down from his body. He put Whitey away, and his eyes shone with a cold light. "Who is it? Why are you acting so sneakily? Even if you want to attack me, do you think that you can attack me just because you brought me here?" He also felt that the journey here was too strange. It was as if someone had purposely sent him here. At this moment, a low chuckle was heard. It was as if a crow was roaring in the dark night. It was very strange and made people's scalps tingle. Even Lin Xian felt his hair stand on end. He carefully examined it and found that it was coming from the scroll in front of him. He snorted coldly and raised his hand. A beam of sword chi flew out, intending to split the scroll apart. He discovered that although the scroll looked simple and unadorned, it was actually able to deflect his sword chi. At the same time, a voice was heard. As expected of the 9 yang divine body, it was extremely masculine. In other words, "You are the only one who can break my ice." It was a woman's voice. Lin Xian frowned when he heard it. "Who exactly are you?" "I'm just a soul that's about to dissipate. After waiting for so many years, the 2 of you are finally here." Lin Xian snorted coldly. "You're the one who brought me here." "Wrong, not only you, but also that woman. Do you think that I won't know if you put her away?" Lin Xian's pupils constricted. He suddenly remembered what happened before. "You were the one who caused trouble." "That's right, kid. Don't you have to thank me. That woman can be considered a peerless fairy. You won't be at a disadvantage." Lin Xian snorted coldly and slapped out. His golden hand grabbed the scroll. However, the scroll was like a swimming dragon and instantly dodged. "Kid, aren't you a little too impatient? I have a good fortune for you." "Creation? What creation?" Lin Xian was puzzled. He was very suspicious of the other party's motive. 9 yin and 9 yang, which was stronger? When yin and yang coexisted, the world would be called emperor. This was a debate that had been going on since ancient times. No one knew which of the 2 was stronger. As for merging the 2, it was even more impossible. The simple yin-yang sect could do it with the laws of yin and yang, but it was too difficult to merge the 9 yin and 9 yang. However, I didn't expect that I would meet the 9 yang's descendant when my soul was about to be destroyed. Moreover, I met someone who was very suitable for the 9 yin's inheritance. The heavens really treated me well. The 9 yin's descendant. Lin Xian was shocked when he heard this. The 9 yang divine body was the most masculine and masculine, so the 9 yin divine body was the most yin and cold. This was also an extremely terrifying physique in the starry sky. Lin Xian didn't expect that he would be able to see the 9 yin's inheritance. He took Xue Qi out of the great sage's body and said, "The 9 yin's descendant is the 9 yin's descendant. Are you saying that she's suitable to be the 9 yin's descendant?" "That's right," the soul spoke. She had cultivated the mysterious ice art since she was young, and it was a very authentic ice-based inheritance. Moreover, she probably didn't know that her bloodline was also extraordinary. This bloodline didn't come from her family, but was bestowed by the heavens. Even so, it wasn't easy to get the 9 yin's inheritance. Previously, 2 people had come here and received the inheritance. In the end, they couldn't bear its power, and their souls were annihilated. Lin Xian's eyes flickered. He was aware that it was extremely difficult to get an extremely powerful inheritance. In the past, he had almost died before he managed to cultivate the divine body. He looked at Xue Qi and poured his power into her. Xue Qi woke up from her dream, and her face instantly became red. This was because she had recalled what had happened before. She looked at Lin Xian. Her eyes were filled with sorrow. Lin Xian was also stunned and did not know what to say. After a moment of silence, he finally spoke. After a moment of silence, he said, "Don't think about anything else. I have to tell you that your bloodline and the magical powers that you cultivate are suitable for the 9 Yin's inheritance. However, it will be extremely dangerous. I'm afraid that you will have a slim chance of surviving. So, do you want to accept this inheritance?" Su Mo explained it to Xueqi, and she was taken aback. The 9 Yin's inheritance. She was an ice-based saint, so how could she not have heard of it? However, she didn't expect that her luck would be so good, and that she would have the chance to get the legendary 9 Yin's inheritance. Xueqi nodded and said, "I'm willing to accept it. You should think about it carefully. If you fail, your soul will probably be annihilated." Lin Xian reminded her. Xueqi said, "Martial cultivation is a path that defies the heavens. Even if there's a slim chance of survival, I won't let it go." When Lin Xian saw that she was so insistent, he didn't say anything else. After all, even he wouldn't give up such a peerless inheritance. It was worth taking a risk. The scroll in front of her shone with an unparalleled radiance. Countless runes flickered, and they turned into many characters that flickered in the sky. This was the 9 Yin's inheritance. Xueqi's expression was grave, and she had temporarily suppressed everything that had happened before in her heart. She took a deep breath and started accepting the inheritance with her full power. In an instant, those runes flowed into her mind. In the next moment, her body swayed, and boundless black ice condensed on her body. She let out a roar. It was too cold. Otherwise, how could the 9 Yang divine body be ranked below the 9 Yang divine body? Upon hearing this, Lin Xian smiled awkwardly. It seemed that the battle between the two godly bodies had been quite fierce. Lin Xian already knew that there were ancient clans and emperor clans. He had even seen many extreme Dao Wu. Qi, however, he had never seen the real emperor's son before. However, thinking about it, there must be some on the buried emperor star. He was really looking forward to having a battle with such a person. The soul looked at Lin Xian and said, "Brat, don't think that you can be arrogant just because the 9 Yang divine body is ranked 11th. That was referring to the large success stage 9 Yang divine body. There were many descendants of godly bodies that were killed before they could fully mature. Therefore, you should try to keep a low profile in the future." "I know." Lin Xian nodded. At this moment, Xueqi suddenly roared. Immediately after, she spat out a mouthful of blood and her entire body was covered in black frost. Her body fell backwards. Seeing this scene, the soul cried out in alarm. "Not good, am I going to fail?" Lin Xian took a step forward and caught the falling body. He felt an extremely terrifying cold energy coming from his hands, as if it was going to freeze him completely. What should he do? Lin Xian looked at the soul. There's no other way, it seems like it's too difficult. However, she was still persevering, unwilling to give up. If she died like this, it would only be a matter of time. Lin Xian sighed. Is there no other way? The soul suddenly sneered coldly. There's a way, but I'll give you another opportunity. As he spoke, he waved his hand and released a dense fog that enveloped Lin Xian. Lin Xian felt dizzy, and his divine awareness became fuzzy again. Damn it! Is this old thing using this kind of technique on me again? Lin Xian could already guess what was going to happen next. However, he was already unable to resist. Xueqi felt that she was extremely cold, as if she was going to be frozen by 10,000 years old ice. As a genius of the ice element, she was never afraid of ice. However, this time, she was really afraid. It seemed like the ice was going to seal her soul in ice. Suddenly, she felt a warm feeling coming from behind her. It was as if a sun had fallen into a snowy mountain. It allowed her to find hope. She grabbed the sun and didn't let it go. Looking at the scene before her, Soul smiled. She rushed out of the cave and said, "I wonder if my method will work." However, this was her last chance. In the blink of an eye, a month had passed. The people who had entered Mount Han also quickly retreated. A month had already passed. In the land of Mount Han, a storm had begun to blow, freezing everything. The Saint Kings couldn't stay any longer. They could only leave. This time, each of the grotto heavens and clans had suffered losses. Of course, there were also gains. Many people had obtained spirit fruits and all kinds of good fortune. Their strength had increased greatly. As for their companions, quite a few of them had also perished in there. The people of Xiling Grotto Heaven gathered outside. Their faces were extremely ugly. This time, young Master Ling Tian was seriously injured and poisoned. It seemed that he was in imminent danger. After they came out, they immediately left. They had to ask the Supreme Elder for help. Fu Hongye followed them expressionlessly. However, he was relieved because he was no longer under the control of the life and death curse. He went back to get more resources. On the other side, Yin Su and the others came out of Green Hill Paradise. Meng Hao and the others also came out of Haoran Paradise with smiles on their faces. They had also gained some gains. It seemed that they had to go into seclusion for a while. The others did the same. On the other hand, the people of Thousand Mountain Paradise were frowning. They had been happy for a while when young Master Ling Tian was injured. Now, they could finally give Violet Spirit Paradise a blow. However, they soon realized that something was wrong. Yanjiu and Xueqi hadn't come out yet. Not only that, but Elder Jin Feng hadn't come out either. He was a Saint King. What was going on? Could it be that something dangerous had happened? They were extremely anxious. The identities of these two people were not ordinary. Let's wait patiently. Perhaps something has delayed them. Elder Heavenly Strategies said in a deep voice. The people of Thousand Mountain Paradise waited here. Thank you for the gift from the cafe. Thank you for the gift from Destiny. Thank you for the gift from the Desolate Moonlight. Thank you for the gift from Su. Thank you for the gift from Shangxiang's father. Thank you for the gift from the end of the show. Thank you for the gift. Thank you for your monthly votes and recommendation votes. Please recommend, subscribe, bookmark, monthly votes, and recommendation votes. Chapter 44-64. At the same time, in the endless mountains of Thousand Mountain Grotto, there was a floating palace. This was the core area of Thousand Mountain Grotto. Ordinary people could not come here. Because this was the place where the Supreme Elder was in charge. At this moment, the Supreme Elder in the palace suddenly opened his eyes and let out a crazy roar. Above the 9 heavens, thousands of miles of space collapsed, and the stars in the sky dimmed. The entire Thousand Mountain Cave was shaking violently. What happened? Everyone in Thousand Mountain Grotto was stunned. The elders all flew into the sky and looked into the distance. It was the Sagely Heaven's old ancestor who was angry. Tsang Tianya, who offended this living fossil? The Sagely Heaven's old ancestor was one of the Supreme Elders. He was so strong that he had reached the Great Sage realm. Such a person was extremely terrifying. Normally, no one would dare to offend him. Even the mansion master of Thousand Mountain Grotto would not dare to be presumptuous in front of him. Now that he was angry, it was really surprising. At this moment, countless streams of light streaked across the sky. The leader was a middle-aged man. He asked nervously, "Father, what happened? Is there a problem with your cultivation?" This person was the sagely Heaven's old ancestor's son, Yen Josie's father. His name was Elder Yen Mo. An old voice came from the palace, filled with endless anger. Joe's soul jade tablet was broken. He died. Investigate this for me. I don't care who did it, I want to destroy their soul and heart. I will not let anyone related to him go. What? Hearing this, Elder Yen Mo was instantly stunned. His son was killed. How could this be? His eyes instantly turned red. The surrounding people also knelt on the ground. Old ancestor, please calm down. We will go investigate. Follow me. With a roar, Elder Yen Mo rushed out with his people. In the next moment, everyone in the Thousand Mountain Grotto knew about this, and the people of the Thousand Mountain Grotto gathered into countless groups and charged towards Mount Han. In Mount Han. At this moment, the two Grotto Heavens and the ancient race had all left. The only ones left were the people of Thousand Mountain Grotto. At this moment, these people were extremely anxious. Several days had already passed, and the power of Mount Han had become incomparably cold. Those people should have come out long ago. Why was Yen Jiao and Xueqi still nowhere to be seen? Could it be that they had all died? That is impossible. The Heavenly Strategy Elder shook his head. These two both have the Sage King Wu on them. Even if he couldn't defeat a Saint King, he was more than capable of protecting himself. It was impossible for him to have died in there. The others were also puzzled. At this moment, they suddenly looked up at the sky. Countless figures appeared in the sky like gods and demons. Their powerful auras caused the snowy mountains below to crumble. What a terrifying team of saints. Is someone going to attack this place? The people of Thousand Mountain Grotto Heaven went crazy. They felt as if they were facing a great enemy. A moment later, they sensed that these people were from the Thousand Mountain Grotto, which caused them to be even more confused. What's going on? Why are there so many people? Tian Su and the others took the lead and flew up. They discovered that the one leading the team was the Yen Mo. He hurriedly cupped his fists and asked, "What happened?" "You still have the face to ask me." Elder Yen Mo shouted angrily. The aura on his body was extremely terrifying as he charged forward. The Heavenly Strategy Elder's pupils constricted as he shot out a ray of light to block the attack. In the next moment, he was forced back. The people around him also vomited blood. What's going on? Is this guy crazy? The Heavenly Strategy Elder was also furious. Yen Mo, don't think that you can do whatever you want just because your father is the Supreme Elder. I'm also an Elder of the Thousand Mountain Grotto. What right do you have to attack me? The other Saint Kings were also puzzled. That's right, Elder Yen Mo. Is there a misunderstanding? We've never offended you. Yen Mo's eyes were red. You've never offended me. My son, Yen Jiao, has died in there. How did you protect him? If you can't find the enemy, you'll all die. What? The Earth Saint King and the others were stunned. The Heavenly Strategy Elder's pupils also constricted. Cold sweat immediately flowed down his face. Although he was furious earlier, if Yen Jiao had really died, the situation was not good. Yen Mo was not the only one who was furious. The Holy Heaven's old ancestor was furious too. That was the great sage. How were they going to explain themselves when they returned? That was impossible. Yanjiu had the holy heavens woo-woo. Moreover, he had the rune mark left behind by the holy heavens' old ancestor. No matter how powerful the enemy was, he should have been able to survive. The other Saint Kings were also puzzled. Who was so powerful that they dared to kill Yanjiu? The Heavenly Strategy Elder also walked up and said, Yan-mo, we don't know what's going on either. When we were in there, we suddenly realized that the land of Mount Han had become terrifying. It was as if everything was going to be frozen again. When we came out, we realized that Yanjiu and Princess Xueqi were not there, so we waited here. We thought that the two of them were delayed by something. We didn't expect Yanjiu to have died. The surrounding people were also stunned. Princess Xueqi was not there either. Oh my god, if Yanjiu had died in there, the other old ancestor would have to show his power. How would the Thousand Mountain Grotto shake then? They did not dare to imagine. Yan-mo said, I don't care what excuses you have. You'll be punished when you return. Now, everyone, follow me and enter Mount Han. He roared, and the team of saints behind him flew. They formed a terrifying formation and charged in with great force. At the same time, a team stayed behind to watch over the Heavenly Strategy Elder and the others. What should we do? The Earth Saint King asked. The Heavenly Strategy Elder's face turned ugly. What could he do? He could only wait. He had to admit that the team led by Yan-mo this time was too powerful. Even though Mount Han had become so terrifying, they still charged in. However, at this moment, it was already snowing inside. They could not search at all. Moreover, they did not know where Yanjiu had died. They could only search aimlessly. Just like that, another 5 days passed. Yan-mo and the others still had not returned. Outside, the Heavenly Strategy Elder and the others' faces turned even uglier. These days, they carefully recalled the whole incident and realized that their situation was very bad. Yanjiu had died. As the elders who led the team, it would be difficult for them to escape. The team guarding them was led by an elder. They said, Tian-su, you're really wrong this time. Don't you know Yanjiu and Xueqi's identities? You didn't follow them. Let's see how you're going to explain it when you return. This time, Yanjiu has died. I'm sure you'll be punished severely. Moreover, Princess Xueqi has not returned yet. If she dies, you'll have to face your own death. The Heavenly Strategy Elder's face was extremely gloomy. The Great Emperor, Holy King, and the others' faces were also extremely ugly. Chapter 44-65. As night fell, the wind and snow continued to fall. The power of Mount Han was extremely terrifying. Even the moon could not be seen in the sky. It was extremely dark all around. At this moment, Elder Tian-su seemed to have made a decision. He roared and suddenly attacked. He attacked the elder of the team and sent him flying. Then, he roared, "Why are you still not attacking? Are you waiting to die?" The Earth Saint King and the others were stunned at first. Then, they said, "Let's attack. We will die if we go back." Now was the best time to escape. When the Thousand Mountain Cave came, there were 7 Saint Kings. Other than Elder Jin Feng, who had died, there were 6 left. At this moment, the 6 of them attacked together and were extremely powerful. "Damn it, how dare you attack? Do you want to betray the Thousand Mountain Cave?" The elder of the team roared crazily. Elder Tian-su and the others said, "Sorry, we don't want to die. We don't want to go back and suffer. Let us go and we won't kill you." After that, their attacks became even more terrifying. A long sword appeared in Elder Tian Su's hand. It was tens of thousands of miles long. With a slash of the sword, the mountains and rivers were all shattered. The Earth Saint King roared angrily. Thousands of miles of land collapsed, forming countless rock giants. They charged out crazily. The 6 of them attacked crazily without holding back. However, in the end, 2 of them were caught. Elder Tian Su, and the other 3 escaped. Damn it! The leading elder roared. At the same time, he took out the array and transmitted his voice. In Mount Han, Yen Mo received the news of the array and was instantly furious. How dare they escape? Men, catch them. He sent out 2 more teams to kill their way out of Mount Han to pursue the Heavenly Strategies Elder and the others. As for him, he continued to lead people to search Mount Han. In the Great Snow Mountain. In an ancient cave residence, Lin Xian opened his eyes. In the next moment, when he saw the scene in front of him, he was stunned. At this moment, Xueqi also opened her eyes. She seemed to have had a very long dream. In the dream, she was enveloped by the sun and ice. However, when she opened her eyes and saw the scene in front of her, she was also stunned. In the next moment, she was stunned and her face instantly turned red. Lin Xian stood up and said, "I'll go out first." After saying that, he walked out of the cave and let out a long breath. What do you think? Did he succeed? At this moment, a weak voice sounded. Lin Xian turned his head and saw that it was the soul. He wanted to get angry, but he found that the soul had become extremely weak. It looked like it would dissipate at any moment. He sighed. He should have succeeded, right? Let her come out and let me take a look. My soul is incomparably excited. Her greatest wish was for the succession of the 9 Yin tribe to be passed down. After a short while, Xueqi came out. Her face was still flushed. When she saw the soul, she was also stunned. The soul asked, "Did he really obtain the inheritance?" Xueqi nodded and thanked him. "Good, the heavens have not forsaken me. I must continue to bring the 9 Yin inheritance to greater heights." That soul grew darker and darker until it finally dissipated. Xueqi knelt down and kowtowed 3 times respectfully. "Senior, please don't worry. I won't let down the 9 Yin tribe's inheritance." Lin Xian also bowed deeply. Because of what the soul had done, the information about the 9 Yin tribe's inheritance had appeared in his mind. This meant that as long as he wanted to, he could also cultivate the 9 Yin tribe's inheritance. Of course, it was too dangerous to fuse the 9 Yin tribe's inheritance with the 9 Yang tribe's inheritance. You! Xueqi stood up and looked at Lin Xian. She didn't know what to say. Lin Xian took a deep breath and said, "I don't know how much time has passed, but I think we should quickly leave." "Are you going to leave?" Xueqi asked. Her eyes were filled with disappointment. This guy has already done such a thing. Shouldn't he say something? Lin Xian said, "I don't plan to leave for the time being. I want to continue staying in the 1,000 Mountain Paradise." Xueqi raised her head and hope appeared in her eyes. However, she quickly asked, "Aren't you afraid that I will reveal your secret? I saw what you did previously. I don't think you will." Lin Xian revealed a smile. Xueqi's face became even redder. She really wouldn't reveal it, as she was now his woman. However, this damned fellow, why didn't he mention this matter at all? "Let's go." Lin Xian waved his hand and said, "Let's go." Xueqi nodded and revealed a gentle look. If other people were here, they would surely be startled. Is this still the same Ice Mountain Fairy? The two of them left the snowy mountain. Xueqi had already comprehended the 9 tribes' inheritance, and she shot out a black frost, which caused a crack to appear on the snowy mountain. The two of them then left. After they left, Lin Xian furrowed his brows. He discovered that the whole Mount Han had become even more terrifying than before. He must quickly leave. He guessed that this was related to Xueqi obtaining the 9 tribes' inheritance. The whole Mount Han would probably be sealed in ice. After they had walked for 2 days, they suddenly discovered some people in front of them. The two of them became alert, but Xueqi was taken aback. She said that it was the Paradise's people. She took out her badge and released the 1,000 Mountains phantom image. The people in front of them cried out in alarm. "That's our 1,000 Mountains Paradise's badge." A group of people instantly flew over. They were led by 3 Saint Kings. When they saw Xueqi and Lin Xian, they heaved a sigh of relief. "Princess Xueqi, it's great that nothing happened to you." Xueqi regained her ice-cold appearance. She nodded and asked, "What happened? Why did you all come here?" "These people weren't among the Saint Kings that came here." Lin Xian didn't say anything. After all, he still didn't want to reveal his identity. The 3 Saint Kings said, "Don't you know? 9th young Master Yen died, and the Holy Heaven's old ancestor showed his might. Elder Yen Mo brought countless teams of saints to search for him." Upon hearing this, Xueqi's pupils contracted. Did they already know? Could it be that the matter was about to be discovered? However, at this moment, Lin Xian shook his head and asked her to calm down. When he attacked Yen Mo, only Xueqi knew about it. The others didn't know about it. As for the great sage's seal, it was destroyed by him before it could even appear. They surely didn't know about it. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been searching for him so aimlessly. Yen Jiao was unexpectedly killed. Who killed him? Xueqi also calmed down. She said, "I also don't know. I was also trapped for the past few days, and it took me great effort to get out. Let's go." Yes. The 3 great sage kings led their teams and protected Xueqi. They quickly left with Xueqi and Lin Xian. When they came out, they heaved a sigh of relief. They discovered that there were still 2 teams here. Where are the others? Did they all go back? Xueqi asked. The Heavenly Strategy's elder and his companions have already escaped. They even injured our 1,000 Mountains Paradise's people. We have already sent people to chase after them. How did this happen? Xueqi was taken aback, but she quickly understood. Now that Yen Jiao was dead, the elders who led the team would definitely be severely punished. Chapter 44-66. After this, Xueqi and Lin Xian rested here. During this time, Xueqi transmitted her voice to him. "Do you really not want to leave? If you leave now, I will create an opportunity for you. You should quickly leave." Xueqi was quite worried. After all, his grandfather was the great sage. Lin Xian shook his head and transmitted his voice to her. "I won't leave for now. This is because I still have some unfinished business. I still have people to kill." Lin Xian's eyes lit up. Xueqi fell silent. Since he had been suppressed and turned into a battle servant, his friends must have suffered the same fate. It seemed like Lin Xian would surely attack the heavenly abode. If she had learned of such a person in the past, she would have immediately suppressed or killed him. However, Xueqi wouldn't attack him now. After all, she was already his subordinate. She was quite conflicted, and she didn't know what she should do. After waiting for 2 days, Xueqi said, Elder Yen Mo still hasn't come back. I want to go back first. I am quite tired, and we have already escorted you back. After a short while, 2 teams escorted them back to the Thousand Mountain Paradise. On the way back, they ran into some other teams, which were sent by the Black Ice Ancestor. The Black Ice Ancestor was Xueqi's grandfather, and he was also a Supreme Elder. He was the Great Sage. After he learned about Yen Zhou, he was worried that Xueqi would be in danger. When they saw that Xueqi was fine, they heaved a sigh of relief. After this, they returned to the Thousand Mountain Paradise and started their secluded cultivation. This time, Xueqi's harvest was the greatest. She had obtained the 9 Yin inheritance, which was a peerless inheritance. As long as she didn't die, she would surely become one of the few peerless experts in the starry sky. Lin Xian had also obtained great harvests. He had obtained several hundred spirit herbs in the snowy mountain. At the same time, his great dragon sword souls might had increased. More importantly, he had also obtained the 9 Yin inheritance. Therefore, while he was in seclusion, Lin Xian had been exploring and researching whether he should cultivate the 9 Yin legacy. He had discovered that the 9 Yin inheritance and the 9 Yang divine body were 2 completely different types of cultivation. The 9 Yang body required an endless amount of flames, while the 9 Yin inheritance required an endless amount of ice. Lin Xian had also cultivated the law of death and the law of sun, 2 completely opposite laws. However, 2 types of divine bodies were much more terrifying than 2 types of laws. The slightest carelessness might cause one to suffer from cultivation deviation. He shook his head and decided not to cultivate for the time being. After all, the 9 Yang divine body was a terrifying physique to begin with. As long as it was cultivated to the great perfection stage, it would be comparable to a great emperor. Lin Xian was still doing his best to improve his 9 Yang divine body. On the other side, Xueqi had completely consolidated her 9 Yin body. The following cultivation would be more complicated and tedious. It was not something that could be completed overnight, so she did not need to be anxious. On one hand, she sent people to search for countless precious pieces of ice. At the same time, she also walked out of the palace and looked at the pagoda in the distance with sparkling eyes. What was this guy doing? Naturally, she was thinking about Lin Xian. Previously, Xueqi felt as if she was dreaming, and her soul was not clear. However, she knew that the sun that she had felt in her dream was Lin Xian. Therefore, she could guess what was going to happen next. She had been unable to complete the 9 Yin inheritance, but Lin Xian had helped her. Moreover, it was Lin Xian who had helped her detoxify the poison that she had been poisoned with. As the granddaughter of a supreme elder and a top genius of the paradise, Xueqi had always wondered what her husband would be like. He would definitely be a peerless expert, a supreme existence that could sweep away everything. She had not even seen the geniuses of the paradise. In her opinion, someone who was worthy of her would at least be a peerless genius of the Misty Peak. However, Lin Xian's appearance changed her mind. When Lin Xian had appeared, he had displayed powerful formations. Although his identity was that of a battle servant, his attainments and formations were something that even she was greatly astonished by. Later on, Lin Xian had stopped the Holy King to help her. He had even taken the risk to let her escape. Xueqi was very touched. In the end, he had helped her detoxify the poison and obtain the 9 Yin body. He had completely won her heart. In this life, she had already decided that Lin Xian would be her husband. She would never think of a second person. However, she sighed. She sighed. She also knew that with her status, her father and grandfather would definitely not agree if she were to tell anyone about this matter. Moreover, Lin Xian would most likely attack the Grotto Heaven as well. With his talent, he would grow very quickly as long as he was given time. Once he grew, would he start a war with her? She had no idea. On the other side, Elder Yen Mo had also returned. Because the land of Mount Han had been completely frozen, they had not found the place where Yen Jiu had died. In fact, they did not even get any information. Especially when Yen Mo learned that Xue Qi had returned safely, his expression became even more unsightly. Was his son the only one who had perished in there? How hateful. In the end, he met two people. He felt that they were very suspicious, but he did not dare to say anything. Because these two people were from the Misty Peak. The two geniuses of the Misty Peak left directly. No one dared to stop them. Chapter 44-67. The ethereal peak was above their grotto heavens. However, many of their grotto heavens were also in the ethereal peak. For example, there were a few from the holy heaven's old ancestors' line in the ethereal peak. In fact, it wasn't just him. There were also people from Xue Qi's line in the ethereal peak. It was the same for the other grotto heavens. It could be said that the relationship between the grotto heavens and the ethereal peak was very close. There were also people from the Holy King Xing Chen's line in the ethereal peak. This was probably something that even Lin Xian didn't know. The ethereal peak. It was surrounded by mountains and empty valleys. The mountains were very steep. There was a mountain at the top of the clouds with a mysterious aura. This was the ethereal peak, a terrifying existence that was above the grotto heavens. In fact, in the hearts of countless grotto heavens, this was the real cultivation paradise. However, the ethereal peak was very strict in recruiting disciples. Most of the grotto heavens were peerless geniuses who entered through the assessment or recommendation. Only a few geniuses from the outside world entered directly. In the night sky, two figures flew past in an instant. They flew directly towards the ethereal peak. The two figures were riding on a huge gourd. They were as fast as lightning. In the blink of an eye, they shuttled through the void and arrived in front of the ethereal peak. There were clouds in front of them and an array formation appeared. At the same time, there was a loud shout. "Who are you? How dare you trespass on the ethereal peak?" The voice carried the aura of a holy king. The two figures stopped and said, "It's us." The man took out the spirit tablet of the ethereal peak and waved it in front of him. A ray of light streaked across the token and poured into the array formation. Not long after, the array formation split open and people walked out. It turned out to be young Master Xingchen and Princess Yuehua. "Please." Xingchen nodded and the two of them flew in. "Young Master Xingchen, how was your trip to Mount Han?" A holy king smiled. After hearing that, Xingchen said, "Not bad. To be honest, this trip wasn't in vain." The corner of his mouth curled up into a smile. After the two of them flew far away, Yuehua asked, "Senior brother, why are you so happy? We didn't seem to have obtained anything special." "In my opinion, this Mount Han is just a so-so. It's not as good as the legends say." Stardust's eyes flickered. He was tall and handsome, and his eyes were like the brightest stars in the night sky. He asked, "What do you think of Xue Qi? Are you talking about that ice mountain fairy? I've heard of her. It was said that she was an ice elemental saint and had great attainments in formations. Although she was still a disciple of the Grotto Heaven and had yet to join the ethereal peak, she was still a disciple of the Grotto Heaven. However, she was already a half-step Saint King, and with the strength of the Xianbing clan, it was only a matter of time before she joined Misty Peak. "Senior brother, are you interested in him?" "That's right. Stardust's eyes flashed with a bright light. When he returned, he would immediately ask the old ancestor to help him propose a marriage. Yu Hua was stunned. Do you want to propose marriage to Xueqi? To be honest, although she is not bad, there are too many people in our ethereal peak who are more outstanding than her. Junior sister, you don't know, but I like this kind of iceberg. Stardust laughed. Alright, you can go back first. I'll go and see the ancestor. Then he turned into a beam of light and disappeared. Yu Hua shook her head slightly. It seemed that another sparrow was about to become a phoenix. Presbytery Pavilion. It was very quiet, and there were countless paths around. This was where the old ancestor of the Presbytery Pavilion was. No one dared to be presumptuous here. At that moment, a figure was flying through the sky. It was Yen Mo. After Yen Mo entered the hall, he said, Father, I've found them. Those two people were disciples of Misty Peak. The man was called Xingqian, and the woman was called Yu Hua. They were the geniuses of the Star Clan and the Moon Clan. In front of them, the old ancestor of the Presbytery Pavilion opened his eyes. A terrifying chi bloomed in his eyes. Then, did the two of them fight? Yen Mo took a deep breath. It was impossible. Although those two were geniuses in Misty Peak, they were too weak. However, they didn't seem to be able to control the light of reincarnation. Who was it? The old ancestor's eyes shone with a terrifying light. Did anyone from Misty Peak go in? He didn't know. He was still investigating. Go, find out who killed Joe. Even if it was someone from Misty Peak, he had to give me an explanation. Next, there was an undercurrent. However, Lin Xian didn't care about any of this. He was in seclusion, cultivating with all his might. In front of him, the great void divine furnace was surrounded by flames. It was like a fire dragon, flickering continuously. 9 Sun Divine Flame. Lin Xian had obtained many precious spiritual herbs in the Great Snow Mountain. He was refining them now. When this batch of spiritual herbs was completed, he could try to break through to the late-stage Holy Venerate realm. At that time, his strength would become even more terrifying. Finally, half a month later, a batch of spiritual herbs was completed. Looking at the spiritual herbs, Lin Xian's lips curled up into a smile. Every spiritual herb was crystal clear, and there were great daos flickering on them. Lin Xian waved his hand and started to consume the spiritual herbs. Boom! Soon, thunder filled the sky. It was like the end of the world. Once again, it attracted the attention of the Thousand Mountain Paradise. Could it be that Xueqi is going to break through again? Countless people became nervous. Xueqi's father also arrived, and his eyes flickered. However, they didn't know that this was Lin Xian's breakthrough. The lightning tribulation filled the sky, and no one dared to approach this place. This time, the lightning tribulation lasted for a very long time. Lightning flashed and thunder roared in the sky. Countless martial emperors were hacked apart. This scene was horrifying. It was like 10,000 dragons were roaring together. A figure covered in flames stood in the sea of lightning in the sky. Countless lightning bolts flickered on his body. Some were even as big as a mountain. This was Lin Xian. He used his powerful divine body. Countless sword chi turned into divine chains and fought with the lightning tribulation. Finally, Shaochen blocked the lightning tribulation. Then, he sat down cross-legged on the charred ground and started the final tempering. His aura suddenly burst out, and he reached the late-stage Holy Venerate realm. His strength had undergone an earth-shaking change compared to before. This is great. Lin Xian's lips curled up in a smile. The people outside were also looking forward to it. Is it over? They wondered. Did Princess Xueqi successfully break through and become a Saint King? They all wanted to go. At this moment, the lightning tribulation, which had already disappeared, gathered once again. Then, an even more terrifying power descended. Even Lin Xian abruptly opened his eyes. A look of surprise appeared on his face as he looked at the large hall before him. A Saint King tribulation. Is she going to break through? Lin Xian cried out in surprise. The palace in front of him was where Xueqi was. It seemed like Xueqi was really going to break through to the Saint King realm. Xueqi's father and the other Saint Kings outside wanted to come in and check the situation. However, when they sensed the Saint King tribulation, they were all surprised. Chapter 44-68. Retreat quickly. These people retreated one after another. Even those who were in the mansion quickly retreated. Lin Xian's body flickered, and he arrived in the distant void. His eyes flickered as he observed the situation. Lightning struck down in front of him, and it penetrated the heavens and the earth. The palace beneath it was torn apart, and it was turned into ashes. A person was sitting cross-legged in the void, and there was black ice revolving around her body. Soon after, Xueqi opened her eyes, and her black hair fluttered in the wind. The black ice around her body swept out in all directions. The lightning that approached her was instantly sealed by ice. Boom! 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 Xueqi used her 9 body, and ice filled the sky as she fought against the terrifying Sage Tribulation. This battle shook the heavens and the earth, and in the end, Xueqi successfully crossed the Sage Tribulation. She looked up at the sky and let out a long cry, and the clouds in the 9 heavens and 10 lands crumbled. The aura of a Sage King emanated from her body. Boom! It's great! She successfully made a breakthrough. A smile appeared at the corners of Xueqi's mouth. The injuries that she had suffered from the lightning tribulation, as well as the cracks, quickly healed. How are you? After the lightning tribulation disappeared, a voice transmitted from a distant place. At the same time, countless auras in the sky spread toward them, and there was even an aura that belonged to the great sage. It was the Supreme Elder. Many people cried out in alarm. Greetings, Elder Xianbing. They looked at the blue-robed old man and bowed to him. The blue-robed old man's robe fluttered even though there was no wind, and his eyes were like blue lightning that could see through everything. He stared at Xueqi, then clapped his hands and laughed heartily. She made a breakthrough. Great! 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 He was overjoyed, as his granddaughter had finally taken a crucial step. Is this true? She actually made a breakthrough. It's great! Xueqi's father was also overjoyed, and he clenched his fists. The others also congratulated Black Ice Ancestor one after another. Black Ice Ancestor, congratulations! Princess Xueqi's talent was too great. She was the first person among the younger generation to become a Sage King. Her future achievements were limitless, and she would surely become the great sage. Flattering voices rang out one after another. Black Ice Ancestor also laughed. Xueqi's breakthrough was a big matter for the Thousand Mountain Grotto, so they sent out invitations and invited everyone to a banquet. Soon, these people began to move. On the other side, Yan Imo walked over and gnashed his teeth. Father, Xueqi has already broken through to the Saint King realm. Damn it! The others were all very happy, but their expressions were incomparably ugly. Because his son, Yan Zhou, had already fallen. In all honesty, he hoped that Xueqi would die. However, things didn't go as he wished. Not only did Xueqi not die, but she had also become even more powerful. She had even broken through to become a saint king. Moreover, he wants to invite the world to a banquet. I think he wants to show off to the world. The more she spoke, the angrier she became. Said the ancestor of the holy heavens. She had just become a saint king, so she didn't pose any threat to him. As long as the black ice old monster does not break through, we will still be evenly matched. Yen Mo nodded. He naturally knew. The younger generation represented the hope of the future. More importantly, the two great sages were competing. Although they were both from the Thousand Mountain Grotto, they represented different factions. There were 3 great sages in the Thousand Mountain Grotto. One of them was in a deep sleep. The only active ones were his father, the great sage of the holy heavens, and the great sage of the black ice ancestor. The two of them represented 2 factions, so they were naturally competing with each other. Previously, Yan Jiu had pursued Xueqi. If he had succeeded, then they might have been able to work together. But now, there was no such possibility. Xueqi received countless congratulatory messages, but she still wore an indifferent expression. Many of the younger generation's geniuses had come. Many of them were handsome, and some of them were carefree. However, Xueqi didn't care about them at all. She looked around, as if she was looking for someone. When she saw Lin Xian walk out of the clouds, a smile appeared on her face. Her smile was so beautiful that it could cause the downfall of a country, and everyone was stunned when they saw it. When the other people saw it, they all glared at Lin Xian and gnashed their teeth. Xueqi had said that she wanted to consolidate her cultivation since she had just made a breakthrough. Alright, Xueqi, you should take a rest first. We will congratulate you when the banquet starts. The elders took their juniors and left. Xueqi gathered her subordinates and said, "Build a new mansion for me. I will go to another place to live temporarily." She left with Lin Xian. The news that Xueqi had made a breakthrough and became a great sage spread out from the Thousand Mountain Grotto. The other grotto heavens and ancient races people were all shocked and they heard about it. They all received invitations, and they all set off. The Misty Peaks people also knew about it, and they also sent a team to go there. The day of the banquet quickly arrived. The Thousand Mountain Grotto became very lively, and the young disciples all had smiles on their faces. Xueqi was the main character of this banquet, and what they needed to do was to attract her attention. They had already heard from their elders that Yan Jiu had died. Therefore, they could go and chase after Xueqi. Previously, because of Yan Jiu's existence, many people wanted to get Xueqi's attention. However, they did not dare to. But now, he didn't have to worry about that anymore. If he could get married to Xueqi, he wouldn't have to worry about that anymore. If they could marry Xueqi, their families and their own families would all soar. The Green Hill Grotto had arrived. A loud voice came from outside, and then a team was invited in. It was the people from the Green Hill Grotto. Countless people turned their heads to look, and they all cried out in surprise. The people from the Green Hill Grotto were all handsome, and they were like fairies. Many people cried out in surprise when they saw them. Many people's eyes turned red. They could not get Princess Xueqi, but it would be good if they could marry a fairy from the Green Hill Grotto. Next, the people from the Howren Grotto, the White Cloud Grotto, and the Flying Feather Grotto arrived. The last to arrive was the people from the Purple Spirit Grotto. Many people were surprised that young Master Ling Tian had come as well. Many people whispered. Didn't this guy say that he was severely injured and poisoned? How did he recover? His grandfather was the Supreme Elder, the Great Sage. He must have personally helped him to expel the poison and heal his injuries. In the Purple Spirit Grotto, His face was cold, and there was a hint of coldness in his eyes. To be honest, he was very angry. He was beaten up by a mysterious person for no reason, and he was severely injured. He was even poisoned. Indeed, it was the great sage who saved him. However, this also caused his cultivation and strength to fall. After all, he had injured his foundation and soul. Now, he had fallen to the peak of the Saint Venerable realm, and he was no longer a half-step Saint King. This made him gnash his teeth. Chapter 44-69. He was supposed to be the first to break through. But now, the glory had fallen to someone else. But fortunately, it was Xueqi. If he could marry Xueqi, everything would be perfect. Apart from the people from the 5 grotto heavens, there were also dozens of ancient race and other experts. It could be said that the 1,000-mountain grotto was extremely lively. The elders and geniuses of the 1,000-mountain grotto were also coming in and out to receive the guests. At this moment, a voice came from the foot of the mountain, welcoming the ethereal peak. As soon as the voice came out, the people in the grotto fell silent. Countless people turned their heads to look. Even the ethereal peak was here. This was unbelievable. The 1,000-mountain grotto was actually so influential. The elders and experts of the other grotto heavens were also shocked. The people of the 1,000-mountain grotto smiled. Great! They did not expect the people of the ethereal peak to come. Go quickly. Some of the core elders also moved, one after another, and went to welcome them. The ethereal peak was in existence above them. No one dared to be careless. The people of the other grotto heavens were also extremely respectful and pious. From afar, a white jade divine bridge appeared, connecting the heavens and the earth. There were countless daos intertwined on it. There were a few figures on the divine bridge. The one in front was a middle-aged man. He was tall and wore armor that shone with cold light. His aura was extremely shocking. It was him. Duguju. Many elders of the grotto heavens narrowed their eyes. They did not expect such a person to come here. Some of the young people did not know who this person was. They only knew that his aura was extremely terrifying. They asked, "Elder, is this person powerful?" The elder said, "How dare you be so rude to Elder Dugu?" Saint King Dugu was a late-stage Saint King. He was also an elder of the ethereal peak and had an extraordinary status. He was not someone you could talk about. Did you hear that? The disciples were so scared that their scalps went numb. The elders of the ethereal peak were extremely terrifying. At the same time, they were even more confused. Would such a person come for the 1,000-mountain grotto? Could it be that something big was about to happen? Even the elders of the 1,000-mountain grotto were stunned. They had thought that they would send some young disciples. But now, such a powerful elder had come personally. For a moment, they were all stunned. The expression of Xueqi's father, Elder Xian Hai, changed drastically. Since such an important person had come, he must inform the Supreme Elder as soon as possible. He secretly transmitted his voice. However, as soon as he moved, 2 powerful auras surged over from afar. Greetings, Patriarch. The people of 1,000-mountain grotto heaven kept worshipping. The people from the other grotto heavens bowed as well, paying their respects to the 2 great sage. Countless people looked up at him. Was this the great sage? It was really too terrifying. It was the Holy Heaven's ancestor and the Black Ice ancestor. The 2 of them looked ahead when they arrived. They landed on a cloud and smiled. They didn't expect fellow Daoist Dugu of Ethereal Peak to come personally. How disrespectful. The two seniors are too polite. Duguju said indifferently as he cupped his fists. Fellow Daoist Dugu, please. The two grand elders will personally lead the way. The surrounding people were all stunned. Although Dugujue was powerful, he was only a late-stage Saint King. Yet, the two great sage actually treated him so courteously. In fact, they even treated him as equals. It was really too incredible. However, this showed how extraordinary Ethereal Peak was. It was probably above the grotto heavens. Seniors, please. Duguju didn't dare to be careless. After all, they were two living fossils, two great sage. The three of them walked forward together. The surrounding people stepped back and made a path for them. There were also a few people following behind Duguju. Xing Chen and Yuehua were among them. The group was invited to the most honorable place and sat down. After that, the two utmost exalted elders also sat down. Everyone was seated. The others also sat down. At this moment, a crane flew in the distance, and two people stood on it. It was Fairy Xueqi. She was here. With a cry of surprise, countless people raised their heads and looked into the distance. The eyes of the young disciples lit up instantly. She was so beautiful, like a fairy from the 9 heavens. Xueqi had dressed up meticulously today. Her exquisite snow robe made her look even more noble, like the Ice Queen. As soon as she appeared, she attracted countless gazes and exclamations. The crane flew, circling in the air, and then landed. Xueqi walked down, and Lin Xian also landed behind her. Lin Xian looked around curiously. This time, there were even more experts than the ones gathered at Mount Han. Moreover, he realized that all 6 grotto heavens were here. Especially when he sensed the 2 aged figures sitting at the very front, his pupils abruptly shrunk. It was the aura of the great sage. This was the real great sage. He took a deep breath. As expected of a grotto heaven. It was much more powerful than the holy city. It even had the great sage. And there was more than one. Who was this person? When he saw Duguju, he was also stunned. Duguju was only a late-stage holy venerate, but he could sit on the same level as the great sage. This surprised him. However, when he saw that Xing Chen and Yuehua were seated beside Duguju, he understood what was going on. He had seen these two people before. They were from the Misty Peak. He guessed that the middle-aged man sitting at the front was also an expert from the Misty Peak. It seemed like the Misty Peak status was really important. Xing Chen's eyes shone brightly, and he instantly fixed his gaze on Xueqi. A smile appeared at the corners of his mouth. As expected of the person he had taken a fancy to, she was even more beautiful than he had imagined. However, when he saw Lin Xian, he furrowed his brows. Once he married Xueqi, this battle servant wouldn't need to exist anymore. Many people's gazes also fell on Lin Xian. There were even some geniuses who were envious of him. They all wished that they could become battle servants and stay by Xueqi's side. Let me introduce you. This is the Misty Peak's elder Dugu. He came here especially for this pageant. You should thank him properly. Xian Hai stood up and looked at his daughter with a smile. Xueqi was also surprised. Did the Misty Peak's elder come here personally? Did he come here to take a disciple? Junior Xueqi greets elder Dugu. You are too polite. My niece, Xueqi, has great talent. It seems like she will join the Misty Peak sooner or later. Xueqi also smiled as she thanked Elder Dugu for his praise. She had always wanted to join the Misty Peak. The other people also went into an uproar. They all wondered whether Duguju had really come here to take a disciple. These people were the outstanding geniuses of the Misty Peak. Xian Hai pointed at Xing Chen and the others. Chapter 4470. Xueqi also bowed slightly to greet everyone. Sister Xueqi, you are too courteous. We will be on the same side in the future, Yu Hua said with a smile. After that, Xueqi met the elders of the other heavens and the experts of the ancient race. She sat down. The banquet started, and it was very lively. Many people came to congratulate Xueqi. Just the gifts that Lin Xian had received for her had already piled up into a mountain. During the banquet, there were also some fights. After all, everyone was an expert, and they liked watching fights. Some geniuses of the heavens and ancient race started fighting. The battle stopped there, but it was still very exciting and intense. All kinds of great Daos appeared between heaven and earth. Interesting. Even I want to fight. I wonder who would like to exchange a few moves with me. At this moment, a figure stood up from the Misty Peak's side. It was a short-haired man. He wore blue armor and carried a saber on his back. His cultivation was only at the half-step Holy King realm, but he was able to join the Misty Peak. There was only one explanation: he was a descendant of one of the elders of the Misty Peak. Mo Fan walked out and looked at the people of the other heavens and ancient race. Why? Does no one dare to fight? The scene was silent for a while. Mo Fan sneered. Didn't you all think that you were geniuses? Why don't you even have the courage to fight with me? You are really disappointing. You want to join the Misty Peak? I'm afraid you don't have the chance. What an arrogant person. When the people of the 6 great heavens heard this, they frowned. Some of them had ugly expressions. It's not that we don't want to fight, but if we injure you, we will end up in a miserable state. These words were exactly what everyone was thinking. It wasn't that they couldn't defeat him, but that he was from the Misty Peak, and no one dared to fight him. When Mo Fan heard this, he smiled. It turns out that you are worried about this. I can tell you that you don't have to worry. Who can defeat me? Or even injure me? I will reward you handsomely. Even if I am injured, I won't blame you. Everyone can hear what I am saying. Do you still have anything to worry about? Since that's the case, I will challenge you. A figure stood up. It was Meng Hao of the Howren Heavens. After Meng Hao walked out, he said, "Excuse me." Unparalleled laws of nature burst out from his body. His palm formed a seal of nature and pushed forward. This was the ultimate technique of the vast grotto heaven. This Meng Hao was also a top genius, and his attacks were truly terrifying. Most likely, there was no one below Saint King who could do anything to him, right? Mo Fan let out a hollow laugh. The Howren Wonderland, huh? He pulled out the saber on his back. Purple flames rose from the saber, and with an unparalleled aura, it slashed toward Lin Fan. Purple Flame Devil Saber. The saber slashed down and collided with the Howren seal. Both of them emitted a deafening sound. This slash actually sent Meng Hao flying backward. This guy is so strong. He is indeed from the ethereal peak. The crowd realized that although Mo Fan was arrogant, his strength was not weak at all. Mo Fan let out a hollow laugh after he succeeded, and charged forward once again. The long saber in his hand continued to fall like lightning, enveloping the world. Meng Hao kept retreating, but he was not nervous at all. Suddenly, countless Howren seals appeared behind him. There were a total of 12 of them, and they covered the sky and covered the earth, directly enveloping his opponent. This was a kind of ultimate technique. It turned out that he was not really defeated before. He was just retreating in order to advance, looking for an opening. Finally, he found an opportunity. Boom! 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 Under the mighty attack, Mo Fan was hit. He was sent flying, his face pale, and blood was flowing out from the corner of his mouth. There were even a few cracks on his body. He was injured. Countless people were shocked. Meng Hao walked out. You have lost this battle. Mo Fan's eyes instantly turned red. Damn it, you dare to hurt me. Go to hell. He roared angrily, and the long saber in his hand instantly burst out with an unparalleled light. A roar burst out from his saber, which then turned into a phantom and slashed forward. Boom! The power of this slash surpassed everything before. It even carried the aura of a Saint King. Not good, this is the weapon of a Saint King. It was sealed before. Countless cries of surprise rang out, and Meng Hao's pupils constricted. He once again used the Haoran seal to block the attack. However, he was still a step too late. In an instant, he was sent flying, and a crack appeared on his body. One of his arms was directly cut off. Meng Hao was injured. The people of the Haoran sanctuary were nervous. The others were also shocked. The battle should be over. They did not expect Mo Fan to use the weapon of a Saint King. It was an unfair victory. Everyone sighed. To be honest, with Meng Hao's status, he could naturally take out a Saint King weapon. However, since it was a spar, they would not rely on external forces. However, to everyone's surprise, Mo Fan did not stop. His eyes were red. Since you dare to hurt me, die. The saber in his hand slashed down again. Damn it, is this guy crazy? Does he want to kill me? This was not a fight. He had said so nicely before that he did not care about being injured or losing, but now his opponent had hurt him a little. He actually wanted to kill his opponent. Meng Hao's face was also cold. To be honest, he was also angry. Did he think he did not have a Saint King weapon? His severed arm healed, and a terrifying aura erupted from his body. He was about to attack. However, at that moment, the elder of the Haoran sanctuary stood up. Alright, Meng Hao has lost this battle. Elder. Meng Hao was not convinced. However, the elder of the Haoran sanctuary did say, Meng Hao, you are injured. You have lost this battle. Yes. I understand. Meng Hao walked back unwillingly. Mo Fan snorted coldly. Fortunately, I stopped when it came to a fight. Otherwise, you would be a dead man now. Who else wants to stand with me? The surrounding people did not say anything. This guy was simply a madman. He could not afford to be taken advantage of. Furthermore, his status was frighteningly high. No one dared to act rashly. Who would be willing to fight someone like this? What a bunch of trash, Mo Fan sneered. In front of him, Stardust frowned slightly. Mo Fan, come back. To be honest, he also felt that Mo Fan was a bit embarrassing. Fine, I'll spare them this time. Mo Fan walked back. For a moment, the atmosphere was a bit awkward. Duke Ju said with a smile, today, we came here not only to congratulate Xueqi, but also for another matter. Oh, another matter. What is it? The two great elders were confused. The others were also surprised. Duke Ju said with a smile. Xueqi's children should be of marriageable age. Duke Ju wondered if she had a good husband. When he said that, everyone was stunned. What did he mean? You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.